hit dice?
I took the average.
Okay.
I think I took the average, but do tell me what level I'm supposed to be.
10.
Then I did it. Okay.
Except for Reginald, I think. Yeah, you guys are all 10.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He wanted to be special.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, he wanted to be old.
So, sure. Cool. So, yeah. How's everybody doing this week?
Good. Doing well. Hanging in there.
Good.
Right. Well, yourself.
It was a shit week to start, but it turned out to be really great. So, we're doing well so far.
That's good.
I'm sorry
that's
it
good.
started poorly, but I'm glad you're doing better.
That's how most shits usually work out. It's like your stomach's grumbling, and then you shit, and then it feels great. So
It's true. It's very clever, if a little gross of an analogy, but sure, why not? Yeah. How's everybody else? Mel, you've been quiet.
Yeah, because all I did was my hit die.
Oh, okay.
I don't get a lot at 10, though. I don't have to do spells or anything. It's just I get updates to stuff, so.
Right. So
Sorry.
You forgot to level. That's fine. That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Gwen? Muted? Gwen.
Seems like she's muted. Or just not there.
Gwendolyn.
I hope she didn't fall down the stairs again.
Well, I mean, unless she was holding her computer when she fell down the stairs. I guess we'll find out. Oh, she's restarting Discord. Okay. All right. So while we're waiting on her, man, I wish my... Oh, there it goes. So while we're waiting for her, who wants to recap? Who hasn't recapped? Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why you couldn't hear me before. That was weird.
Weird.
I forgot to level up at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
That's good. Good. All right. So while you and Mel level up, Elton, why don't you give us a recap? I don't think you've given us a recap.
I've been studiously avoiding it because I'm usually very poor at these.
Come on now, you're a dungeon master. You can hack it. I have faith.
You shouldn't. For the most part, I'm not quite sure where last session started. I know we spoke with Sarissa, I'm not going to call her queen, but princess of storm giants, just because she doesn't really seem very queenly to me. She did not have a bloody clue what was going on. We exposed Imrith. We got out from there, returned to Mirabar, got the airship repaired, and through the judicious use of sending spells, found out that the Golden Goose was a riverboat casino out of the town I can't remember the name of.
Yarder.
Yarder, thank you. Oh, your token's on it. I'm looking in the right place, but I can't find it. Okay. Out of Yarder, and decided that eventually, despite many plans to the contrary, we were just going to roll in as adventurers with money to burn.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys spent some cash, and you got all fancied out and decked out, and you, as a group, successfully bypassed the security of the ship and came aboard, playing at being nobles or, people with money to spend, which is smart considering where you are. And yeah, you walked onto the ship, and you were greeted, of course, by a number of other nobles and servants, waiters, and before long, the ship unmoored itself from the dock and began its nightly cruise north up the river. And as you were pulling away, not long after pulling away, I should say, you were greeted by a loud, booming voice of a very fat noble that you recognized, or at least Celinda recognized from before, as one Caspier Dryland, who, is entertaining everybody and greeting everyone for the evening, and he's jovial and pleasant, and at his side is a shoe human woman, a bit of a Asian in our parlance, but yes, she looks Asian, and she She's not far from him. She's carrying on her shoulder some sort of bag. You probably recognize it as your group has one as well. She's wearing these long robes. And he reaches over to her and reaches his hand out expectantly. She reaches into the bag. She pulls out a large handful of these wooden coins that you've seen before that have a very familiar, the shape of the head of a golden goose on the coin. And she hands them over, and Caspier starts walking up and down, and he's passing out these tokens. And I think we cut off with him making eye contact with Celinda and a smile crossing his face. As the ship is pulling away, you're hearing music coming from somewhere on the ship. People are starting to laugh and eat and play games. And I think that's where we left off. If anyone feels it necessary to add anything, I don't know if we're missing anything, but if we are, by all means.
Just making sure that I put my weapons and would assume Beth's weapons. I think we're the only two that use weapons in the bag of holding, just in case we end up needing them.
That's interesting. I don't remember I don't know that we covered that last week.
Yeah, we did.
I remember suggesting it. I know I was going to be with my stuff.
I specifically mentioned numerous times no weapons, so
So not.
I think if
having them on us,
Valem noticed people still carrying them, he would have been pretty adamant about putting them away.
Yeah.
we wouldn't have gotten in if we had them out, so they're just stored in the bag of holding. Hopefully we won't need them.
Yeah, because Beth and fisticuffs won't go well.
Well, see, that poses something of a problem because I unfortunately, because I fucked up the recording last week, I distinctly don't remember you saying that you had it with you. Because if you have the bag of holding with you, someone's going to want to investigate that.
There was a joke that Gwen or Celinda was going to put it in her
boobs and pull it out
boobs,
anime style. Yeah.
Boobs of holding.
Yeah, I made that joke.
Well, they can investigate it all they want. Unless they know what they're pulling out, they can't pull it out.
I understand that, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Like, I'm giving you the option to retcon it if you wish, but somebody's going to take note, and it's going to cause a problem. Because even if they don't know what they're looking for, there's another woman on the ship who has one of those bags sufficiently. You can assume that she knows how it works. So even if she doesn't know what you have in it, that's going to be a problem. So I'm just giving you guys an early warning.
I'm not going to let them search it. I'll put up a stink. I'm here to spend good money.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're gonna kick us off.
We're already out. Yeah, we're already out to sea. That means
we don't have weapons or armor on us. We're not like.
But I can understand that they would still see it as carrying.
Like, I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Like, that's.
Well, okay. Let me pose this, Sean. Where else would we put them? Because we didn't secure a place at an inn or anything.
Well, I
like, because we were under the assumption, because we had said the bag of holding thing and there was nothing mentioned, that if it was in the bag of holding, it was going to be a non-issue. At least that was my understanding.
Maybe that's the point he's making, is that we didn't go out of our way to get a place to
store it, right? Because we were under the assumption that putting it in the bag of holding was okay.
I mean, I don't. If you wanna say that you found like a safe place nearby to put it, or rented a locker somewhere in the city, like I said, you can bring it with you. But I'm giving you fair warning, because you'll note that no one else on board has bags. Like that, you would have noticed, and it's something I should have described, because I was operating under the assumption that you would not wearing your armor would mean you were leaving the bag behind.
My armor is my dress.
Your armor is, but Reginald's, Valem's are not. So.
No one said we couldn't wear our armor, though.
We all bought fancy clothes to wear.
You would have seen in the line on the ship as they were searching people, like if some of the young noble ladies had like even handbags, they would have been searched.
Yeah, the only thing you mentioned was some guy had like a sword on his side and he threw a stink, and that was the only thing that was mentioned. There was nothing about bags.
Right.
All right.
We do have a handbag.
I mean,
and we don't have.
We'll just look. I don't want to spend the whole time arguing this, so I'm fine with you saying you have the bag. You can have the bag, but there's going to be an issue with it as long as you're prepared for that.
Well, that's fine.
Okay, not my arm again.
I'm not okay considering I just got that +3 bow. I'm not okay with that getting confiscated and lost.
Well, it's not that the bow's going to go missing. It's that they're going to try to take the bag. Regardless, they don't know what's in it. But again, someone on board knows what the bag is. They know how it works. Safe to assume it's not something they would be comfortable with you bringing on board.
Okay, so do I have time between finding out this information and getting the bag to, say, the ship? I mean, we did fly here. We have people.
I suppose in that case, I guess. I'm
Then
fine.
because in that case, Beth would have left her bow with the airship, and why can I never remember his goddamn name?
Kendrick.
Kendrick. Thank you. Because Beth would trust Kendrick and those guys enough to say, look, if we call, come and have this stuff ready, because it's going to be trouble. Then if the bag of holding's not okay, Beth retcon that. Beth left her bow and stuff with Kendrick.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, sorry, that's partly my fault. I was operating under the assumption that you wouldn't have brought it with you.
And that's where a lot of the money is. So I guess I took because otherwise we're carrying, if we need to bring a bunch of money, we're carrying huge sacks of hundreds of coins.
Or you could just have it converted to platinum before you went on board. But either way, I mean,
That's true. We could.
Yeah, I'm going to grab some cash out of the bag of holding, because again, I assumed we had it with us, so I'm just going to put some into Beth's.
Also, a lot of nobility, especially if they're locals, they can be trusted to have a line of credit. So, like, you don't need
Yeah,
to
I know.
bring
Yeah,
your infinite
that's
wealth.
why I didn't use money at all in Baldur's Gate. Like I was like, I don't carry money when I'm walking around the upper city in Baldur's Gate because it's just like,
Yes,
just send it.
you can be trusted. Otherwise, they'll send someone after you. Like,
Yeah.
you know how it works. Yarder isn't really different. There's a lot of wealth here, so that's definitely something they're accustomed to doing. So,
Okay, so
you guys are on board. I think it would be safe. I don't know. Can you guys not see the map at all? I don't know.
I
See
see
the
the
world
map.
Oh, are you guys on the wrong thing? Did I not move you over? Son of a bitch.
No, we were on the world map.
Oh, well then before I again, sorry for the clicking. I'm going to move your tokens down before I move you so you can see where you are. There we are. And then so you guys should be able to see your tokens. You are basically, I'll let you move your tokens where you wish. But you're entering this is like we're retconning a little bit, but you guys can like basically board the ship wherever you want. There are of course closed doors inside, but like you guys are wanting to move to the left, not the right. This is the main deck of the ship. Of course there is an upper deck and a lower deck. There are oars coming out of both sides of the ship. And as is demonstrated here, it's pretty crowded. I mean, there's a good number of nobles, again, eating, playing cards, playing gambling games, just generally being entertained. There's music emanating from the ship. Caspier is basically like walking up and down the aisles. He's noting people. He's talking to people. You do note before long that sometimes as he speaks to somebody, he's very brief with them. Before kind of assessing something and moving on before finding someone else. And you've probably been on board for, 10 minutes. It hasn't been long. The ship is just getting started for the evening. You see some people like snacking on like little wieners and what else are snack foods? Pretzels? No, wealthy people wouldn't eat.
Cucumber and cream cheese sandwiches?
Sure. Oh, avocado toast and
Combos.
Escargot as well.
spinach wrapped in phyllo dough.
What trapped in phyllo dough?
Pretty much anything.
Oh, okay.
Katamala olives
pizza
wrapped
rolls.
in leaves.
Or like
grape leaves?
yeah, like olive stuff with cheese. Or I just had one based on someone. Oh, like spanakopita or
Tapas.
sure tapas.
Prosciutto wrapped melon.
I was thinking of pigs in a blanket, but sure, yeah, pigs are prosciutto wrapped around melon works as well. But
Anyway.
it's all pretty fancy.
I'm
food.
hungry now.
And
Alton grabs a piece from the lowest waiter he can find.
yeah, they'll serve you. They'll bring the tray down and everything. They're aware of their surroundings enough to be able to do that.
And there was no cover charge to get in?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
No, there definitely surely isn't a cover charge. Not yet, anyway. So
That's what I'm worried about.
not at all. So, yeah, you guys, you feel the boat gently pulling away. It's starting to move upstream, and it's nice. You know, it's a nice experience. So you guys are free to do what you want to do.
Gamble.
Okay.
Beth is clinging to Celinda or Valem, whoever lets her cling.
You can cling to me, baby.
Because it's a lot of people. She feels naked without her bow, and she's in a little black dress.
And that's true. And you do notice that the guards don't seem to be patrolling down here. It's just, Caspier is making the rounds. The shoe woman is walking up and down. The shoe woman, you do note, is she kind of like walks up to a table. I've only been to one casino in my life, so my frame of reference is the television show Las Vegas. But she's like one of those like undercover security guards where she like walks up to a table. She kind of just peeks and like looks around at the table, and she kind of makes a point of like, you notice that Valem, especially you because your perception is so high, that she seems to be like more than observing the table, she's observing the people. Like she's not watching their hands, she's watching their faces. And she just is moving up and down the ship in this fashion. And like I said, the guards aren't here. It seems like the guards are staying upstairs or away from this deck. And like I said, there's music playing aboard the ship. One music that someone could in fact dance to if they wished.
Out of curiosity, is the dynamic lighting really necessary at the moment? Because I feel like we're losing something with like.
Shit. Sorry. My concern there is because you'd be able to see the upper and lower decks. I think if I turn it off completely.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you could clear just a certain area. Just
I mean, I could
again,
in theory,
kind of
like
affecting.
You could just put it under fog of war or something, or just.
If it's gonna be a pain in the ass, don't worry about it. I'll deal.
I mean, I could try to do fog of war. I forgot to turn it on here. It's up to you guys. What do you want to do? You let me know.
I'm fine with this.
We're fine with this. It just looks kind of weird. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. So so you guys were. What are you doing? Yeah. So Celinda is gambling.
Yeah.
I order a brandy.
Okay. And yeah, there's plenty of alcohol on board. That is not a question. Champagne, brandy, wine, even some fine ales. All sorts of different varieties of alcohol.
I guess the biggest thing is we don't necessarily know what we're looking for, because the coin is what brought us here, and it has to be something to tie us to the giants.
Well, does the shoe woman approach any of us, or does Caspier approach any of us with those coins?
Well, since we did establish last week, I definitely think because he seems to remember Celinda, so I think he would approach her first.
Did smile back at him and nod her head.
And this very large, in normal circumstances, if this man wasn't a man of means, he would just be some like fat, grubby dude that you would want his hands nowhere near you. But because he's got money, he feels like that
Gives him the right.
the permission. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, he kind of walks up and, still very gentlemanly, as you recall from last time. He says, "Ooh," I can't remember the accent he did, but he says, "It's been quite a while since I've seen you, darling. Welcome to my ship."
It's nice to be here. I wish I'd known about this when we were here the first time.
Well, you did seem to want to rush out of town rather quickly last time.
Business. You know how it is.
And is business good these days?
Very good.
Oh, indeed. And what business might that be?
I acquire things.
Oh, well. He kind of like reaches out to take your hand. And he says, well, it's locked up quite neatly in my chest, but you could acquire my heart. Of course. He said, yes, well, it's quite lovely to see you, my lady. I do hope you're enjoying yourself.
So far, yes. It's quite the establishment you've got here.
Indeed. And I should point out, I don't think I described this fully last week, so let me do so now. I think I tried to at least briefly describe that the inside of the ship is... what's the word I want to use here? To say lavish doesn't quite do it. It's like lavish in a gross way. There's a word I can't think of right now.
Extravagant.
Yes.
Opulent.
Opulent, another great word. There are literally like purple velvet drapes hanging on the walls. The
Garish.
Garish, a great word. Yes, perfect. Here, I think here it is. Let me see. Oh, and I should describe that because you basically are in the casino. This is a large cabin that's clearly been transformed into a gambling hall, the centerpiece of which is a gold-plated wooden sculpture of a goose that rests on a table in the aft end of the room. I already described glasses of fine wine, free for the taking. An unflattering portrait of Lord Ryland actually hangs on one of the walls across from a wooden spiral staircase. Let's see.
Why is it unflattering, though?
Just because he's such a big guy, I assume.
Yeah,
it's not. We see it as unflattering, but his ego probably does not.
Yes, well said. That's precisely it. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, it's described as a portrait of a fat, foppish, grinning man who is Lord Ryland. Yeah, but like I said, there's purple velvet. I can't pronounce purple today. Purple velvet drapes. There's these fine white cloths draped over all the tables. Yes, garish is a great word to describe this. A certain kind of person, that is to say, Lord Ryland, thinks it's like the height of fashion. And he is dressed in kind as well, I should say.
Beth's just gonna cling to Celinda.
And so you're there for this conversation then, Elizabeth?
Oh yeah, she's just kind of standing there awkwardly, uncomfortably, like with Celinda just off to the side. She's trying not to do that defensive thing she did in the early part of the game, just because she now knows Celinda can handle herself and isn't this noble that needs to be too pampered.
I believe you remember, my friend.
Oh. Well, I don't think I do, but my dear. And he like reaches out as if to take your hand to kiss it.
She'll let it happen, but it's kind of like that awkward, like, side-eye to Celinda, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't like doing this.
She just smiles.
Yeah, he reaches down with his, like, fat lips, and he touches the... And maybe I'm guessing that Mel knows, but maybe Elizabeth doesn't, that when a man kisses your hand, he's actually just supposed to brush his lips against the knuckles.
Or he puts his thumb up and kisses the back of his own thumb.
Precisely. Neither of those things happen. His lips, his very wet... slovenly lips actually like linger a little too long on your skin, but he just sort of assumes that you'll let him do it again. This is something he's accustomed to being able to do.
As soon as she gets uncomfortable, which is about 0.5 seconds after the wet, she just kind of like jerks her hand back and then just kind of puts it down and kind of smiles, like she knows that she shouldn't, but it's like she was bitten. And then she just kind of smiles and just goes red in the face just because, like, so awkward.
Yeah, and
Celinda just pats her.
His eyes go a little wide, and at first you assume rage, but he smiles. This, like, sly, evil, almost grin crosses his face. He says, oh, well, a challenge, I see. I look forward to tonight's ship ride. And he looks at you and he gives you a wink.
I'm gonna, like, push closer to Celinda, like half behind her, but like contouring the side of Beth's body into her back, like, oh god.
Yeah, and he just looks at you, Celinda, like taking the cue. He says, well, I'm going to continue making the rounds if it's all right with you. He said, quite a few people, as you can see here, popular destination. He smiles. Is there anything else I can get you? I see, do you have some chips? Pao Ming. And
I have one, but...
And the shoe woman comes over and, like, looks the two of you up and down. And again, it's very much like she's gazing through you with a sort of intent. And she reaches into her bag of holding. And after a moment, she comes up and she brings out like maybe 5 or 6 of the chips, and he reaches out. He says, Pao Ming, darling, yeah, just wonderful work. Please keep it up, keep it up. And she doesn't smile at all, just flat affect, and just nods and turns to walk away. And he turns and he reaches over, and he hands all but one chip to you, Celinda. And Elizabeth, he reaches. I wish I had a webcam to demonstrate, but he does that thing where he reaches up with the coin, and he's got it pinched between thumb and index finger for you to take it. Like he's just holding it in front of you as if for you to take it.
We don't have to pay for these? I thought that's...
Yeah, no, please. He said, let's not talk about payment. That's not important. Please. And he's gently sort of like trying to gesture to the chip to get you to take it.
And she'll reach up kind of slowly. Again, she looks to Celinda this whole time kind of for guidance, and she'll take it, but like, again, I know exactly what you're doing. And she kind of comes up with like the same thing, thumb and forefinger, and just like pinches the bottom, like the barest amount she can actually have a solid grip on it, but not touch him.
Yeah.
And just kind of then wraps it in her palm and kind of nods a thank you.
Yeah. And like he tries to do that thing from, Pretty Woman with the necklace. Like he's going to try to pull it away from you very quickly. But you're actually pretty, dexterous. So you just grab onto it, and he looks like slightly disappointed, but he just continues eyeing you up, and he starts like rubbing his fingers together as if in like anticipation. He says, I'm sure I'll find the two of you lovely ladies later. Please. He said, enjoy my ride.
Yeah. And that's just a whole new shade of red on Beth's face.
Celinda just kind of smirks a little bit, like, I'm sure we'll see you later. Gives him a little wink.
Yeah, he definitely gets a little excitement crosses his face while that happens, and he sort of like waddles off. While that's happening, Reginald, you were getting some brandy. What were you gonna do?
I wanted to walk around and find a table of, a gambling table, I guess, card games or dice game or something, and sit down and watch for half a minute before trying to exchange some coin for chips to play.
And you notice that there's oh, you're trying to exchange. Okay. Yeah, and like you pull out the coins, and everybody looks at you a little like cockeyed, and the very attractive person working at the table looks, and he looks a little confused and gives you this almost like pitiful smile, and just like reaches across to take your coins and raises his hand and beckons Pao Ming over, and she makes her way very deftly, very clearly astute about how to move aboard this boat, even with so many people and it being on the water. She comes over, looks at him. There's some exchange between the two, and she reaches down and looks at you, and reaches into her bag and throws you a few coins, like a few of the chips.
Thank you. I wasn't aware you had the chips to gamble with.
And she just, again, like her eyes just open, and she just nods at you, looks at the, what is the word for someone who works at like a card table? Isn't there a word for it?
Dealer?
Yeah, like a dealer. Thank you. It's been a long week, like I said.
Well, it's also dealer has other connotations.
Also true. So the dealer looks at Pao Ming, and there's an exchange, and she looks at you and gives you a nod and just turns and continues her patrol back and forth on the deck. And Reggie, you just start to play?
Yeah, I want to play and just kind of make a small chat about what's going on, and then be like, oh, have you heard all the trouble with the giants? I hope it doesn't affect our businesses and blah, blah, blah. Or...
And I think that there's a couple
trying to gauge reactions of people who get...
I think what happened specifically is that the dealer doesn't care. Like, the dealer seems completely oblivious, couldn't care less. There's a couple young female nobles at the table, and, dressed to the nines, hair curled, jewelry, all the works. And one of them looks at you, and she's of an age to be your granddaughter. And I don't know. Did we establish exactly how old Reggie is?
I think I'm mid some 60s. I don't know, something like that.
So if you're late 60s, it's theoretically possible you could have a grandchild her age.
Yeah.
My mother is mid 60s and has a grandchild that is 22.
Yeah, there you go. So that works. Yeah, so she very clearly could be your grandchild, and she looks at you, and again, sort of this like almost pitiful smile. She says, "We don't talk about such things here. Are you new? Have you not been on the Goose before?"
I am new, actually. I've been out trying to save the world from these giants.
Yes. Well, that's not important here. We're just trying to have fun. Aren't you here for fun?
Indeed, I am.
Oh, well, there's games. She like gestures at the table you're sitting at. She said, "There's music. There's a dance floor upstairs if you like to dance. They also have And like she looks at the other girl and there's some sort of giggle. She says, they have companions, if that's your wish. I mean, I don't, but you understand."
I just kind of stare at her for a minute, and then that's quite all right. But indeed, after fighting all those giants, it is good to take a break.
And like I think that they sort of like look up at the dealer, and the dealer just sort of raises an eyebrow, and she says, "If you'll excuse us." And they just sort of like grab a couple chips and just like push their chairs up and start to walk away from you.
I look back to the dealer and say, "Well, that was rude."
He says, "Indeed." And like the implication there is clearly it wasn't them being rude, but he won't say it.
That's fine, yeah. Well, deal me in then.
Of course. And he like you start to get dealt in to play. While that's happening, Valem, Alton, what are you two doing? I guess Valem first. I'll throw it to both of you.
I'm walking more or less table to table. I'm kind of watching the playing, but not so much the games, but the people that are playing. There's anyone that's maybe distracted or I don't know, maybe listening for conversations that are of the topic that we're looking for. Is it maybe? Because quite frankly, I don't know how to fish for what we're looking for. So I'm kind of awkwardly just kind of going from table to table, trying to get information.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, I think basically you don't get any of that. All you hear are people trying to enjoy themselves. Some of the younger folk, like the girls that, like you're walking along and Reggie has like scared off these women and they walk past you and you hear them gossiping about like, some of the new breeds in town, and other folk are talking about some court gossip in Yarder. Some of them are just talking about the games. There's probably, let's be honest, there's a table here on the ship with like a bunch of frat boys who are just like wealthy young frat boys who are just like talking about how they're going to get so-and-so nobles pregnant or some crap like that. But yeah, you don't seem to hear anything about like specifically about, I guess, what you're looking for.
Okay, so the lady that's passing out the coins, her name is.
Oh yeah, Zane. Sorry, I'll put it in chat. Sorry.
Humming. Yeah, I'm gonna approach her. Purchase some coins, and then just kind of make some small talk. As I look at one of the coins that she gives me, these are very unique. The design. Do people ever take these as souvenirs, or does everyone have to cash in before they leave?
She says, very quietly, "The chips are not to leave the boat."
I believe I've seen one of these before, and this is actually why I chose to come here. It was a very good advertising tool, quite frankly. But would there be any reason why someone would have one outside of the ship?
And she looks a little cross, but she's pretty good at like hiding it. She says, "The only way that the ship would leave the ship is a thief stole it."
Huh. I'd hope unscrupulous characters like that aren't aboard the ship right now. That's certainly not what I came here to do.
And she says, "As do I." Um, I think I don't know if let me something might happen. Let me figure it out if it does or not.
Does she make out with me?
Yeah, she just immediately disrobes and
Nice.
bends herself over a table.
Boy, Valem's really popular with the Asian chicks.
I was going to say something, but it's kind of racist, so I'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
I think there's let's see. What I don't know if this sorry. I was unprepared for this moment. I think that she makes a small motion with a hand that is not on the side of with the bag. Well, no. You know what? Never mind. She's not. She won't do it facing you. That's not ominous at all. I know. So yeah, she just kind of stares at you blankly, like waiting for you to leave or to say something. Like, but she's very clearly not interested in conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure she's busy.
Okay. So are you gonna walk
I'll move
off?
on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move on. I keep doing what I was doing before.
Okay. And I think like when you walk away is when she will cast a spell. So basically, I'll just tell you because I think it'll make it easier to deal with this. She's going to cast Detect Thoughts on you. So there's no save initially because she just learns your surface thoughts. So, like, what would you say your surface thoughts are?
My surface thoughts are literally going to be that we found a coin at the murder of the Storm Giant Queen's corpse. That's where, because I was literally just talking about that subject. So.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure all our surface thoughts are, how the hell are we going to figure out where this coin came from?
Nope.
Oh yeah, except maybe Beth.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So she does that. You don't see it because presumably she waits until your back is turned, and then she just lets it go. So yeah, she'll continue on her patrols. Meanwhile, Alton.
At first, I'm looking for just a game I'd actually recognize, considering I'm fairly certain this is. I'm used to, sailor games, dice, and maybe poker, and this is where you play baccarat.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. This is very much Casino Royale.
Yeah, and it's not my scene, and it's taking me a few minutes. After a while, and seeing her handing out the chips, I'd probably keep an eye on the extraordinarily interesting looking woman, especially considering she seems to know what everybody needs, and idly wondering if she has powers like mine.
Okay, like how do you follow up with that?
Again, we're trying not to get kicked off the boat. So I think it's more along the lines of watching her and just trying to see what she's doing besides handing out chips and walking up and down the aisles. I am going to make a perception check to see if I can see her cast a spell, but
either that or before you roll that, I would either let you roll perception or maybe Arcana. It's up to you. I mean, they both make sense here, I think. That's effectively what she is, Valem, yeah.
So I'm going to go with perception just because I'd have to catch the hand motions and incantation and stuff like that to know the spell, and I don't think I'd be close enough for that. Not in this noise.
Okay, sure.
So just to see if I catch her casting it.
Mm-hmm. I'll make a roll for her. We'll make it a contest. What is a fair opposition?
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of stealth.
So Dex.
Yeah.
Sleight of-
One of the
sleight
dex
of
checks.
hand.
Okay, we'll make a Dex check.
Because again, if she's muttering to herself, then that everybody mutters to himself. Is she covering the hand motions?
Yeah, she's very good at it. You don't catch it.
All right. Then, again, splitting my attention. Is there any kind of card game or dice game that I would actually... It'd be lowbrow by comparison, but some fancy people like to slum it sometimes.
I mean, they probably have a roulette table.
Oh, I love roulette.
Like, you know what? At the frat boys table, you would definitely find them playing some simple game.
Then I will head to the frat boys table.
It would probably be the D&D equivalent of like Texas Hold'em.
That's fine.
They're all just sitting there playing with fidget spinners.
I was actually thinking they're playing beer pong, but hey, they're just doing it with top shelf whiskey.
They're doing tokens, like quarters, but trying to fling their tokens into each other's beers.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go sit with them and see if I can get a read on if they're easy marks, because I'm kind of broke.
okay. So you wander up to the table and they kind of just all nod at you. They seem more engaged with each other than they do with you initially.
Yeah, and I'm not putting anything down. I'm not asking to be dealt in. Just watching for a bit.
Okay. All right. So while you're watching, why don't we cut to Celinda and Elizabeth, who are about to go seduce a fat man. What are you two doing?
Well, Beth was looking over the coin that she was given for similarities between the coin that they had to try and figure out, is there something significantly different about the coin found at the crime scene?
They're exact replicas. They were clearly cut from the same mold. Like, if they were made by like a carpenter, for example, it's obvious to you they were made by exactly the same one.
Okay. So now what? This isn't exactly, Ma and Pa's game at the bar.
Well, we probably should gamble for a bit before we go bother Casper. Otherwise, it'll look suspicious.
Wait, what do you mean go bother Casper?
We're gonna go get some information out of him. We're gonna smile. We're gonna be pretty.
Gonna pump him once and then pump him for information.
Pretty much.
What? No!
I mean, we're not actually going to, but...
No, okay.
Tag team.
We're gonna make him think we are.
He doesn't seem the kind of man to take thoughts like whatever.
Yes, well,
what do we see around us for games?
Like I said, there's a variety of games. They're all
I'm
pretty
playing
highbrow.
roulette.
Yeah, I mean, there's roulette, there's baccarat, there's other fancy games, but this isn't like poker like your mom taught you.
Yeah, nothing with cards. What's what's slots? If there is any.
I don't think there would be, because slots is generally a game you play by yourself, and the point here is that they're trying to mingle and what have you, so I don't think slots would be a thing here.
We're gonna go play bingo.
Keno.
We'll probably just go to the roulette wheel or something. Roulette's great.
All right. Elizabeth, you go with?
I need to make a roll here for myself, so hang on a second. Like I need to flip a coin, but I don't have a coin, so I'm making a roll. Hang on.
Roll 1d2.
Okay. Actually, no. I'm thinking I'm gonna retcon what I just said. She'd be more comfortable with cards, thinking it is like her parents' kind of card game, not knowing any better. So I think Beth would drift towards one of the card games and just try and watch to see if she can figure it out or pick it up. Or
Cards is good too.
Okay. All right. So you find a card table. And what is your goal here?
well, she just wants to observe to see if she can kind of figure out what the point is. Again, if it's like a Texas Hold'em style, or I'm really bad with card games myself. 5-card stud, something like that.
Okay.
And if so, she'll kind of take an observation of the table before sitting down to see, like, is anybody at the table look slimy and disgusting like the man they just left? And if so, she's going to avoid that.
I mean, a lot of most of these nobles are quite beautiful. They're very well dressed. They're well kept. I don't think there's anyone on board quite as slimy as Caspian Dryland. But they're all clean and well dressed. I think that the game that they're playing, the card game, is probably like an advanced version of like a card game you've seen, like something the nobles play because they have time to learn it.
Yeah.
But like if you observe for long enough, you might be able to put a hand in. Like it might not be as much of a risk, let's say.
Okay, so I want to find the chattiest table, a table that seems to kind of be gossiping. With the card game that I'm observing.
That you're like opening the door on yourself, right? Because what you find is those young girls that Reginald scared off have like grouped up with a couple other young girls, and they're like chittering and chattering about like the frat boys and how like how this scene is getting old. But yeah, they're definitely chatty, and they're about your age.
Beth would slide right in there.
Okay, and they all kind of turn.
Shut up.
They all kind of turn and look at you. And they all just stare for a moment, and the one girl that Reginald was talking to mostly just turns to you. She says, "Hi, can I help you?"
I was hoping to catch a hand.
And like they all kind of look at each other a little confused because that's not the kind of like language they would use, but they're like, "Oh, you would like to play? Sure, okay, of course." And they'll like deal you in a hand, and you guys all start playing. Slender, are you with her, or are you kind of watching? Like, what are you doing here?
If you left her, that's totally cool.
No, she wouldn't leave Beth alone. So yeah, she'll be with Beth.
Are you sitting playing at the table, or are you just like observing?
Yeah, she'll probably sit and play too, because
okay,
it's a casino. You've got to gamble.
So they start like handing out the cards, and they start to deal. And like all the other girls there seem suddenly quiet because they don't know who you are. And so the one girl who I should probably give a name. Her name is Cyrene, which I will put in chat. And yes, I just took that from the Blades in the Dark book, because why not? So her name is Cyrene. Cyrene looks at you, and she just kind of casually like coughs up and says, so you're new then? Not seen you around here before.
Oh, no.
We're just kind of passing through looking for a night of fun. It's new. I'm not really used to this kind of thing, but you gotta branch out once in a while.
You seem really nervous. You should maybe get a drink.
She is nervous.
And she like raises her hand up and snaps at one of the servers. And this young woman comes over, dark tan skin, like raven black hair. And she says, "Yes, girl, we need some champagne. The pink kind, please. Enough for the table." No, honey, it's fine. Just relax. You need to relax. You're making us all kind of angry. And like
I'm sorry.
The servant like
bourbon
bows her
for
head.
me.
And you say that, and Cyrene is like, her eyes go a little wide, but she's pretty good at hiding it. "And a bourbon for our other new friend." And the servant just like vigorously nods her head. You see her hair like shaking, and she like disappears.
So the Golden Goose, that's a interesting name. Do you know anything about like why goose? It's not exactly as elegant as the boat appears.
The Goose is just the name of the casino, darling.
Right, but why?
Lord Dryland has, let's say, interesting tastes. I don't know. I think it's pretty gross myself, but
exactly.
It's a fun time.
Do you know
So-
that geese are actually quite hostile?
Well, it's also disgusting because when you have to pick their feathers, they're trying to. And she goes like farm girl for a second and then stops herself.
Yeah, and Cyrene like jolts, and the other girls like stare at you for a moment.
Is the champagne here yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're gonna
Damn.
drag this moment out a little bit.
Sorry, it was a thing. Crazy aunt, you know how it is.
A joke. Yes, a joke. And she's like making that face as if to say, like, just agree with her because you're being really fucking weird.
And she'll just kind of.
Celinda puts her hand on Beth's shoulder, and Celinda puts her hand out for the other girl to shake. Cyrene. Hello, I am Baroness Icewing.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, Lady Icewing. Not
And
from.
you are?
I'm the Lady Cyrene.
Mm.
I almost made a Dune joke. I don't know what the fuck her last name is. You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's Sean and his fucking alliteration. Sorry. Lady Cyrene of House Corvidae, here in Yarder.
Hmm. Interesting. I'm from Baldur's Gate myself.
And it shows. So what brings you to Yarder?
Just enjoying myself. We heard about this. We were up north in Mirabar, and we heard about this place. We thought we'd come have some fun in our airship.
Oh, how droll.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if. Okay, this is going to be completely past. So, what is it that you like? Your Lady Cyrene, Lady of. I don't know much about Yarder, but I mean, it seems like an interesting city. I mean, you have a pleasure boat. She tries to laugh it off awkwardly.
Yeah, and she kind of smiles in that way. She said, well, it's not mine. And who are you? You haven't properly introduced yourself?
Sorry, Elizabeth Volkov.
Lady Elizabeth Volkov.
And I just kind of give her that look of.
Are you also from Baldur's Gate?
No. I'm not. Hence, I just. No.
It's fine, dear. And like at that moment, the server arrives back with all the drinks, and she makes it clear that like the servant hands the first champagne to Lady Cyrene, and then she hands them around the table, and then she finishes with the bourbon, which she gives to you, Celinda. Very much standing in stark contrast to this like very rosé looking kind of champagne with all the bubbles. You've got this flat bourbon in a small stout glass.
What is the custom? Do we give servers tips?
And like the servant instinctively just like looks away. She says, tips for what?
For working well. For getting here quickly.
They get paid for their work, not by us. We don't pay them. Money doesn't... How strange Baldur's Gate must be.
No, but money greases wheels.
Meanwhile, Beth just kind of sniffs the rosé and the bubbles tickle her nose.
I think when you say that, Celinda, I think Cyrene literally responds with, why would one want greased wheels? At any
It
rate,
was an
let's...
expression, child. And she'll hand the server 5 gold. Thank you.
The server doesn't know what to do with it.
Does they not have pockets?
She won't take it from you. Like, it kind of scares her. There's clearly a look on her face that says, like, please don't.
Fine. Strange place.
And the servant just looks and like, looks a little mortified at Cyrene, and Cyrene says, you may be dismissed, girl. And the servant just, like, rushes off. So while that's happening, Reginald.
I don't know if I'm winning or losing, but I probably get another drink, find another table, and spout off more stories about giants, about how the king and queen are gone, and that's why there's all this giant uproar. Just trying to see if anybody takes notice.
I think that you probably find your way to a table with maybe some older folk, men and women alike, older nobles all, and you start to say that, and one of the older nobles looks at you, a gray-haired man with like a twirly mustache, small spectacles on his face. He says to you, "Oh dear boy, seems you've had too much to drink, I think. You're telling absurd stories. Please, would you like to join our table?" Like they're all going to probably have a laugh about it.
Oh, I would thank you for the offer. I'd love to join, but these stories, while somewhat fantastic, they are true.
Oh dear,
yes,
I'm sure. The mark of a great bard selling his stories. I love it. Please do continue.
Bard, I am Lord Reginald Ramsbottom from Baldur's Gate.
And I wonder if the name carries enough weight.
It's old enough family. Like, other old people might know the name because probably been nobles for a while.
Yeah.
And
like,
from his adventure
I'm old
days.
money.
Well, the other thing is, I guess, Reggie, you and I never established this, and now I'm curious about it. Like, what was your father's name, and what was his deal?
My father's name was Rupert Ramsbottom, and he was also, long time. Like, the Ramsbottom estate has been around in Baldur's Gate for, say, well over 100 years. Like, we look at, or he looked down upon new nobles and was probably more trying to more greedy and played the noble game more and like tried to get things.
So I don't remember.
So well established.
Like, was the vineyard or the winery or whatnot, was that your idea?
Yeah, I bought the vineyard because I tried to play the politics game and got sick of it.
Okay.
And so I needed another way to make wealth and spend my time. And
so I think it's more reasonable then, since we've established that like the Ramsbottom name is recognizable, but not your name; it's your father.
Yeah, if it's like
that,
he would have been. Yeah, he probably would have come to places like this, and
I feel like
more traveled in political circles.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely like a flashback scene somewhere where we see Rupert literally sitting here with like a girl that's way too young for himself on his lap while he's like losing a shit ton of money and just getting drunk. But yeah, so I think that's what like draws their attention. The gentleman says to you, like his face kind of contorts a moment. He says, "I seem to recall a Ramsbottom. This some time ago. What was his name? Ronald? No.
Do you mean my father, Rupert?
Rupert. Yes, I remember Rupert. He's kind of a grubby noble, just my type. Yes. He's been gone for quite some time. Like, how long ago would your father have died? Like 30 years?
Yeah, 20, 30 years ago. 30 years, probably.
Yeah. He says, I was a much younger man then. I do remember him. You don't look much like him that I recall, but I couldn't always see straight in those days.
He liked to eat a lot more than I did too, so.
Yes, well, a good noble has good tastes. So you're a lord, but I've never heard of your name, Reginald? He says it like almost questioningly because he can't remember.
Indeed, I was a member of the Council of Peers in Baldur's Gate for quite some time, but I focused more on my own personal business, selling wines and brandies. Bought a vineyard.
Oh, so you're here on business then?
Business and pleasure.
Interesting. So if you're in the business of wine, then why are you talking about giants? She's
said, these giant attacks, I've been worried about how they would impact my business. So, been seeking out how to make sure it doesn't do that.
interesting. I haven't heard much of giants here. We're well protected, taken care of. Well, money buys these things after all.
That's quite good. I wouldn't want to establish new lines of trades to cities that are going to be weak against such attacks.
No. And so I think, unless you tell me otherwise, like I think the conversation kind of like goes in that direction about like him questioning you, prodding you about your business, and like because it seems like that's why you're here, and it makes a lot of sense that you would come here to try to sell your business.
Yeah, and I'll play up that angle too, and I'll tell him about the various wines and some of the places, how I've expanded a lot in the south, and I've just started trying to come north and see where would be some good places who would appreciate the fine quality of my product and
Okay,
salesman spiel.
Sure, that makes total sense. So while that's happening, Valem?
I'm really just doing the same thing that I've been doing, just kind of watching tables, more or less watching people. Because again, there's not much information that I have to go with. I don't know who I'm looking for. I don't know
And I
a
think,
lot about nobility. I don't typically mingle with this crowd.
are you playing games, or are you just like walking around?
I'm not playing games. I'm probably stopping off at food tables to reload every now and then and kind of picking at finger foods, but more just kind of watching.
Okay.
Ooh, a voyeur.
So I think that as you're doing that, Pao Ming is still making the rounds. Some people are moving upstairs. Other people are coming down. So you're getting some new faces. And I think Caspier probably finds you because you've been on the ship long enough, and he kind of like, I was gonna say saunters, but that's definitely not what he does. He makes his way up to you.
Waddles.
That's yeah, and he puts his grubby hand on your shoulder, Valem. He says, "Sir, I've noticed you and noticing my ship. Yes, it's quite lovely, isn't it?"
It is. I applaud you for this. It's a very, very nice establishment.
I have to notice as well. I'm sorry to say that you're not playing my games, not enjoying in the atmosphere. You seem to be wandering off by yourself. I thought that man needs a friend.
Well, please don't be confused. I definitely enjoy the environment. I'm not familiar with gaming myself, so I'm trying to learn how things are working more before I just kind of jump in feet first.
Well, there's
Just the sort of person I am.
of course, but there's other entertainment on board. I've got music upstairs. There's lovely young ladies to dance with. Also, other young ladies to partake of, if your tastes might stretch that way.
Maybe later in the evening I would partake in something to that effect. But I'm really just kind of drinking everything in right now.
Are you holding a drink when you say that?
I probably have a plate of food and a drink, sure.
Okay. Yeah, and he looks at you. He says, "Yes, well, plenty more than where that came from, of course." And he kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder again. He says, "Well, should you need anything at all, please, of course, find me, Lord Ryland. It's a pleasure. Your name, sir?"
My name is Valem Myris.
"Ah, a name I'm unfamiliar with. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir." And he kind of like waddles off. Alton,
Hello.
what are you doing? Just chatting up these frat boys still?
Mostly chatting to see if there's I want to see if there's a weak link in this gambling chain. Who's the single worst player?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Let's find a name list. So, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry, I sneezed twice.
Gesundheit twice then.
Thank you. So I think there is a youngish man, probably like 23, 24, by the name of Brannon, who at this point is sloppy drunk. He's still playing, but he's very clearly like he's lost his sobriety, so he just keeps playing hands even though he's losing. And the other guys at the table almost seem to like just accept this as fact. Probably a scene that they've seen before.
All right. At that case, I am actually going to sit down at the table and wait for chips to be given to me and start betting almost exclusively against him just because this is still better cards than I'm used to.
Okay. Yeah, so before long, of course they'll deal you in, and they're all getting a little turnt. And you know, the chips start being passed around, and you know, Brandon keeps being just fed drinks. And before long, you know, 10, 15 minutes, you've gotten several of Brandon's chips. He's maybe got like 2 left. And he takes a swig of like his whiskey or what have you, and just like slams it down the table in this like drunken stupor. He says, "Guys, stop stealing my chips. What? This isn't fun. Where are we?" And the other guys are just like, "Jesus, Brandon, like the ship just left an hour ago."
I'll turn to one of the, I won't say quite sober ones, but one of the ones who's not completely sloshed. Does he do this often? Do I need to worry about vomit on my shoes?
And they all just look at each other and like start to laugh, like heartily laugh. And they say, "That's why each of us employs a cobbler, man."
Yes, but I don't want to walk around in them. Is there a cobbler on board?
And they all kind of like look at each other, and there's a moment where they actually have to think about it. No, there's not. That's something we should talk to Caspier about that. And like this becomes like a serious point of conversation. And I mean, the implication there is yes, you should definitely be worried about Brandon's, let's say, the constitution of his stomach.
I'll make sure I'm sitting across and not next to him. And just very calmly, just every so often ask, you know, so what do you do with these chips at the end? I admit I'm new. I'm not used to having this much wealth. I'm looking forward to it.
They're all just like, "Man, you trade them in to the shoe lady. They pay out for the end of the night. I mean, most nights you don't leave with much, but if you make anything, you care about making money."
Oh, I care about being able to do this more than once.
And they all like look at each other like, because you just said something a poor person says, and they're like, "If you can't risk it, you shouldn't be here, man, but each their own, I guess."
Oh, I can risk it. I just don't get to come to Yartar very often.
Okay. And they're all just like shaking their heads in kind of like this mild confusion.
I'm going to wait for Brandon to get like utterly pissed and try and separate him from his companions when he runs out of chips.
Yeah, I mean, it takes probably another like 15 minutes. And it only takes that long because he's so drunk, like he's forgetting to move his chips into the game.
All right. Take the ones I've stolen from Brandon functionally. You know, I think you're going to vomit. Let's get you to the side of the boat.
No. One more hand.
You're out of chips.
What? Chips? I don't want chips. Wait, where are my
Everyone.
chips?
Come along, my new friend.
Like, you're gonna have to physically help him up. And he's human.
Uh-oh.
So...
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
Uh-oh. Well, here goes nothing.
Why don't you make I'm gonna say like a strength athletics check or dex acrobatics to keep him on his feet. I would give you advantage because he's drunk, but you're so small compared to him that I think it's just a flat roll.
No. I will take the athletics.
You have a really rough time of it, but you are able to sort of escort him away from the table. And as you're doing so, you're having to sway with the boat and trying to prevent him from swaying. And you can see at several moments, like he raises his hand to his mouth like he's gonna vomit. And as you're wandering off, the other frat boys at the table are like, "Later, Brandon," like obviously mocking him. Now there's a number of places you could take him on board, so you need to tell me like where you think you would like to take him.
I'm looking to get him to the edge of the boat to vomit.
Okay.
So,
so yeah, like you could go to the front. I mean, you could go just like out one of these doors to the side. There is of course the front of the boat, the main deck forward. But yeah,
whichever door I'm closest to. I meant what I said. I really don't want to walk around in vomit covered shoes.
Okay. Whoops. Whoa. Sorry. That's gonna load for a second. Cool. So yeah, you could just I'll just move. I don't know. Are those? Oh no. Yeah. So you could just move your token like over to the left here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, you're outside, and there's like a decently cool breeze outside, and you're seeing some grass and hills and forests on the edge of the river. And the ship is just making its way up north. And I think now that you're standing up, Brandon's gonna wolf his cookies.
Yep.
So why don't you make a dexterity saving throw to basically either jump out of the way or push him to the side so he vomits over the ship. That's enough. So yeah, do you just jump out of the way, or do you try to maneuver him?
I am going to try and get him maneuvered to the railing without falling over it, which is the harder part.
Yeah. So he kind of bumps up against it pretty hard, and it just that sort of motion of him being forced up against it bends him over and his body, and you just hear that that chucking sound. He starts to cough. And he's just limp there, laying over the deck. And he looks around. His head's still over the side of the ship. How'd I get outside?
You die? Magic.
Really?
Yep, you cast a spell. I've never seen anything like it.
And then you just start to hear him vomit again. Violently over the side of the ship.
I cackle evilly. And now that he's out here, I am going to start not so much interrogating him, but asking him questions. What do people do? Do people ever leave with the chips? Who's the shadiest person on the boat besides the owner?
People don't leave with the chips. They're not supposed to. You check those in at the end of the night.
Yeah.
In terms of shady people, he'll list off. He'll probably, to answer that question, he'll probably just give you a bunch of names of some of the young noble women who won't touch him.
Okay. I imagine by third woman's name, I figure at least part of that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brandon, you stay out here. Don't fall overboard.
And yeah, his body's just limp over the side of the ship. He's I think he probably starts to sob as you're walking away. He's like, "You're my new best friend."
And like all your other friends, I'm leaving you. And I walk back inside.
Yeah, and
oh,
ouch.
That is savage, man.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so you go back inside. Meanwhile, are we cutting back to Selenda and Elizabeth? Because I think we went through everyone already again, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Selenda and Elizabeth, you're still at the table with the gossipy girls and Cyrene.
So I'm assuming some time has passed.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure how sober the girls are. Are we all drinking? Or?
I mean, they're drinking, but they're sipping. They're being noble ladies about it. They're not getting wasted, not yet, anyway.
Okay.
It's not ladylike.
Yeah, no, I mean, Beth drinks the first one a little quickly just because she's so awkward to kind of loosen up a bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think she's just been trying to play this card game with the focus of a hunter. She's really thinking and she's really trying. She's almost too serious.
Yeah, exactly. And the other girls at the table definitely aren't. To them, it doesn't matter how much they lose. They don't care. They don't care about it's not even they're not even doing it because they care about the money. They're just doing it because they're nobles. This is what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, Beth's doing it with the focus of, I have 2 brothers. Competition, bitch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Celenda, what are you doing while this is happening?
She's probably sipping her drink for a little while, and then she just gives up waiting and just pounds the rest of it, and she says to Beth, I'm gonna go talk to our friend Casper.
Yeah, you have fun with that. I'm gonna do... And she's thinking about a move. This.
She gives her the rest of her chips except for one.
Turns out Beth has a gambling problem.
Yep.
Here,
She's finding it oddly fascinating.
here, you take the rest of my chips and have fun.
Cool.
Okay.
She just pockets one that she has left.
During the conversation, was the dance floor mentioned at all? Just that assuming while time passed conversation.
I mean, if you want to, yeah. I mean, you're hearing, and the thing is, I don't know if you can see it well on the map because it's a very crowded map, I know. But there are stairs that you saw Caspier come down. There's music definitely coming from upstairs. You might hear some laughing and friction or percussion coming from up there from people dancing. So you could reasonably have asked, and they would have told you that there's dancing upstairs.
Okay, so almost as an aside, I think Beth would. After this game, I think I'm gonna go upstairs. I think dancing sounds something I'm gonna be better at. Shit. Looking at her cards.
Okay. So you're gonna go upstairs then?
After she finishes this game, yeah. So since Celinda and Beth are separating, she's gonna head up to the dance floor.
All right. So Celinda, where are you going? What are you?
I'm going to find Casper.
Okay. Yeah. So he's
Now we did hear from those girls that these chips don't go out of the casino.
They don't leave the boat.
Yeah. Okay. I just wasn't sure whether we knew that or whether it was just the others.
I think it's safe to assume you all know that's.
I think we did ask the girls.
Okay. So yeah. So where are you going?
To talk to Casper.
Okay. And I think where you find him is.
Was it even with Valem?
I think he's probably just left Valem. They've just parted ways. And I think you probably have to pass Valem on the way to meeting Caspier. So Caspier is further up on the ship, but you have to pass Valem when you go to find him.
She just gives Valem a wink.
I high five her.
Okay. Valem's just stuffing his face with cocktail weenies. Okay. So you go up and you find Caspier, and he's just schmoozing with people, and he's really good at it. And he sees you approach, and he looks at the other nobles. He says to them, "Oh, excuse me. It seems I have an interested eye." He kind of smiles at all of them, and they all give him that smile back, that shitty fake noble smile. He looks at you.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Oh,
she
Lady
knows
Icewing.
that smile well.
You missed me."
Of course.
He kind of pats his big tummy. He says, "I'm kind of a hard man to miss after all."
Oh, but you're such a pleasant man. She puts her arm in his. Do you mind if we talk a bit?
As long as that's not all we do. Then he just he pats your arm in his. He's just he's trying to joke, but maybe there's not a joke there.
Gambling is getting a little tiresome.
Oh, well, if you need to lay down.
Perhaps.
Oh, yes, well. And he
it's
will...
Just all the money. It's boring sometimes.
I hope it never becomes that boring, darling.
What sort of other services does this lovely place offer?
Well, there's music upstairs. We have companionship, but you won't. You already have the best companionship aboard. There's food and drink. I see you've partaken in some of that.
She smiles a little bit. Anything more specialized?
Oh, well, uh,
You know, VIP only.
my room is upstairs, but it's so wonderful down here with all the people, and uh, shouldn't we save the best for last?
Mm, perhaps.
You're gonna have to try to convince him if that's what you want him to do.
No, I don't want to take him upstairs. I just want to know if there's any. I want him to like try and tell me about the other services. Like, you know, is there some secret here that you have to be in on? She's trying to hint like, is there like, some ulterior motive to this place?
I'm muted. I don't think what you said is gonna get that out of him. Like he's not gonna read that. To him, people come aboard to lose money and get laid and eat and drink and be merry. So he doesn't. I don't think what you said is enough to get him to be like, oh yes, let me tell you about what's actually happening here.
You see, I've heard some rumors about this place.
Oh, well, good rumors, I'm sure.
Things besides just the casino and the pleasurable side. I was wondering if I would be.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Well. And she kind of like rubs his arm a little with her fingers. Are you sure?
So
I'm interested.
give me a persuasion check.
All right. Do I have advantage?
Debating. I don't think so.
All right.
Like, I realize you're trying to seduce him, but I don't think that's enough. Wow.
Oh, yeah! Yes! Turns out I didn't need it.
Yeah, so he says to you, kind of like leans into you, like way too close into you, and he starts to whisper in that way that's like vibrating your ear, like that hot air is like blowing into your ear. He says, well, I don't know that it's entirely a secret, but I use this casino, you see, this ship, to fund my operation. I'm interested in public office, after all. I need to bankroll it somehow. It's my great desire, you see, to become the water baron of Yata.
I had heard something of that.
He says, well, I do try to keep it close to the vest, but, sometimes vests they walk away.
Yes, sometimes they do. The water baron, that's sort of like the mayor?
Something like it, yes. Yes, indeed.
A noble pursuit.
Yes. And, like, he reads it like it's a joke, even though it's not necessarily a joke. And he just gives you a warm smile.
I'm not sure that was what... Do you have investors?
Well, yes. All of my guests, you see. They lose their money here, and I invest it.
Ah, interesting. Any other backers?
And, like, you're starting to push, and it's clear to you that, like, you're starting to spook him a little bit.
I am a titled noble from Baldur's Gate, you understand. Perhaps I could add my influence.
Well, very kind of you, of course, but unfortunately, I don't think that would do me much good here in Yata. Cities are so far apart, in fact.
Perhaps.
I do appreciate your devotion, your interest. Maybe we can find an arrangement, you and I.
Perhaps. I think I would probably need to know a little more, though, were I to back you. financially or.
And he just like he says he's very clearly like getting like spooked at this point and wanting to like walk away, and he still linked arm in arm with you. He just says oh, talk later. The evening is young, my dear, please. And he yells out to some nobles that are like 10, 15 feet away, and they like look at him and wave, and there's smiles. He looks at you. He says, please, let's entertain our guests, shall we? And he like starts to basically drag you to some of the other guests. Like,
can I incite him?
Very obviously trying to like stop this conversation. Yeah. What is it you're trying to discover? Like, why are you rolling?
Is he trying to get away from the subject because there's something he doesn't want to tell me, or?
I mean, I don't know that you need to roll an insight check for that. Like, that's a reasonable assumption to make.
So there is something here that he doesn't want to tell me. Interesting.
So with that, why don't we cut to Elizabeth? So you've finished your game. You've probably taken a number of chips from the other girls. They clearly don't care. Do you make your departure?
Yeah, she'd give like a quick thanks. Again, not properly like thanks. Lots of fun just while she's grabbing the coins. Enjoy the rest of your night. And she's a little more relaxed, but at the same time being relaxed, she's also not trying too hard to be anything but herself. She's had maybe 2 drinks.
Okay. Yeah, they're very dismissive in that way that you can get up and go. They don't really care either way.
Yeah, so she'll make her way like through the crowd towards trying to find the stairs.
Okay.
Do I see anybody particularly interesting other than, my own party members and maybe Pao Ming?
No. Mostly just a number of nobles.
All right, then she'll head upstairs, which I'm assuming is here.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, so you begin to head upstairs. The music gets louder. I'm going to just clear off some of these tokens because there's so damn many of them. Yeah, and you come up into this room. Let me... Give me one sec. But this is clearly a dance floor. This is where the music is coming from. I will give you a better description here. Is that where I wanted to get? Yeah, so there's a balcony here, like outside of the stairs. But yeah, you do come up the stairs into the dance hall. It's smoky. It's dimly lit. There's a wooden stage where there's a number of musicians and other entertainers that would be there to perform. There's a few tables and chairs just set up along the walls, obviously making the most room for the dance floor. And there's a curtain next to the stage. But it is closed, like it's not drawn open.
So is this person a guard?
Yeah, so you do notice something kind of like you notice that there's a number of musicians sitting on this stage and they're playing their music and trying to play upbeat stuff to dance. Why don't you roll me a history check? Is history intelligence?
I
Yes.
believe so, yes.
Yeah, roll history. It takes you a minute. But this woman is familiar to you. Well, shit. I guess this is an important...
I've been here since the start. I think I know exactly who that is.
Yeah, so it is who you think it is. Her hair is longer. She's dressed in the fashion of the musicians. She's playing, and she plays quite well.
Does she seem... I mean, Beth's probably changed a bit. I know at least she's got a haircut. And she's in a dress.
Mm-hmm.
Does she seem to take any particular notice of Beth? Or is she just playing?
I mean, she's playing, but I'll have her make a check. Why don't you make...
I mean, if I see this, like, I want to see if she sees me and then just trying to blend into the crowd.
Oh, shit, I rolled the wrong thing.
Could have her make a performance check, and that be the DC for whether or not.
Yeah, thank you. I was thinking of a way to do it. Why don't you roll performance?
Not stealth?
Or deception. I think I would let deception fly here. I I see why you're going for stealth, but stealth is, I think, something pretty specific.
Yeah, it's
Trying to like literally not be seen. So unless you're trying to duck behind someone else, okay.
no. I'm just trying to. Oh shit. But I'm not gonna like come up and then instantly go downstairs because that would be suspicious, and
Right.
I don't think that's quite that.
What is your passive perception?
Oh god. I have no idea. One sec. 10 plus wisdom, 12.
Okay. So you do
No,
notice.
passive 16. Sorry,
Okay.
wrong sheet.
So she you do notice that she is like looking all around she is looking around the room. She's scanning it, but not, just intermittently. Like she'll look up and when someone kind of moves around. She does her eyes very clearly cross you. It doesn't seem to register on her though. You don't see any sort of reaction from her.
Okay. So Beth will just go into the crowd and start dancing, but she is going to distinctly try to dance this way.
Okay.
Like towards the front of the stage, kind of. Like she's not the only one up there. She's with a group. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a group of musicians up here. Yes.
Okay, so she does want to be a layer or two back in the people, but she does kind of want to keep an eye on this. And she wants to grab a sending stone, realizing she doesn't have them anymore.
Okay.
For the moment, I think Beth's just going to kind of keep dancing, but keep an eye on this person, and hopefully wait to see either have Celinda or the other party members come up and find her.
Okay. So you're just gonna hang out up here?
Again, I'm keeping an eye on her, and if her set ends and she starts heading to the back, Beth will improvise.
Okay. Yeah, she's not moving. She's just sitting there playing her music.
Yeah, so for the moment, Beth's just gonna kind of dance. And again, she's trying to figure out what to do, but she doesn't want to head straight back downstairs because that's suspicious, or at least it would be in her mind.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So you're kind of just hanging out. Because Sean forgot to update her shit. He's doing that as he's talking. So yeah, you're hanging out, you're dancing. There's a number of men and women up here, both that are all dancing and shimmying and having a good time. A couple of them kind of sidle up to you and try to dance with you.
She'll let that happen. I mean, dancing's not a raunchy thing to her yet.
I mean, some of the way that some of these people are dancing is definitely raunchy. Like some of them are practically fucking on the floor, but it's not quite. We're not there yet, but it might get there.
Well, I mean, I think if a guy comes up to her and starts like grinding to her ass, like she'd jump forward, but then just kind of turn to face him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But she wouldn't make a big deal of it because again, where she's from, it's swinging hips and stuff too, but usually you're just kind of booty bumping out of fun.
Mm-hmm.
With it being a stranger, it'd be a little more uncomfortable, but she wouldn't see it as unnormal unless she gets sandwiched.
Okay. Sure. All right, so you're up there dancing. Meanwhile, back downstairs, I guess, Reginald, what are you doing?
Well, now that I've kind of befriended these old folks,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to steer the conversation more towards if they're regulars here. Has there ever been anything like odd or interesting people or fights or whatever?
Yeah,
suspicious behavior, that kind of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I think that. Really, why did that not update? Oh, that's why. So yeah, I think what happens is that. First of all, they'll say that, well, you're quite interesting. You're something interesting that we haven't seen in a while. So that will happen. Also, what else is interesting? Why don't you roll me a persuasion check, I guess. See how well you do.
All right. Let's see here. Persuasion. Normal.
Okay.
Not good.
Yeah, they say basically like, oh, we don't come out here every night. Too old for that, of course. Just occasionally for, a nice drink out with friends and hoping to meet new friends, in fact. Been a quiet night, though, I'm afraid. Mostly. That is until you came to entertain us, but... Hope that answers your question.
Sure. What about the man that runs the? I saw him walking about. Don't think I've met him though.
Oh, you haven't met Lord Ryland?
I haven't had a
Surprise?
chance. He seems to be busy with the young ladies.
Yes, well, he does that quite often. Don't think he gets very far, though. Runs out of breath first. He's a lord here in Miata, and he owns the ship. Always schmoozing and rubbing elbows, as it were. He's not bad at it, either. What's your interest?
Well, I just wanted to know. This looks like a fine place to try and expand my business to, and if he owns the place, just kind of want to get an idea of what kind of man he is before I start any business negotiations.
Well, if you're looking to make some coin, I don't think you're going to find it with Lord Ryland. He's much in favor of keeping his. Doesn't like to give it away, you see. He's a schemer, that one.
Well, I can't blame a man for trying to keep his coin.
No, I suppose not. Things are kind of like quieting down at the table, like it's like maybe an hour has passed and they're, the older folks.
I'll probably, get up and say, well, thanks for the chats and hope you have a lovely evening.
Oh,
Go get some food, probably meet up with Balaam or something.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you go grab something to eat, and so you meet up with Balaam. So what's that scene? Balaam, what are you doing when Reginald finds you?
I'm eating.
You don't say. Eating those wieners.
Your armor is not going to fit after the end of the night, dude.
You'll get the breastplate stretcher.
That's what we're here for.
So, any luck yet?
Quite frankly, I don't know what we're looking for.
I was kind of hoping that token would be more specific then.
Yeah, the only information I received is that the tokens are basically cashed in. They're not supposed to leave the boat, so more or less the token should have either been stolen, or the other idea is that it's one of the people that work aboard the boat.
I guess we could try and steer our questions more towards that woman who hands out the tokens. If she's in control of all of them.
She's the one I spoke with. I think it would be difficult to pull her away to question her. I think that's pretty much her primary job, is to work the floor. Did you want to try to...
Any chance telling her why we're here would help.
The only issue I have with being outright forthcoming about that is the danger it would place to other people. Because if a fight does break out, I don't want anyone to be harmed that doesn't need to be. We're likely surrounded by innocents right now.
Relatively speaking, yes.
And I wonder if, and Celinda, I'll give you a little bit of leeway here. I wonder if maybe he's leading you, Caspier is leading you like through the ship, and this is where you kind of like come upon Reginald and Balaam chatting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like unless you try to pull him away, you tell me.
Dryland?
Yeah.
Well, I was planning on trying to pull him away on my next go. So
okay, well, so that's what I'm asking. Like,
I could message. I'll try and message them as I go by them because I took a subtle spell, so I don't need verbal or semantic.
Yes, subtle spell's the best.
Yeah, I don't need verbal or semantic components for my spells, so I can just message them. Be like, I'm gonna try something. Be prepared for shit to hit the fan.
Okay, so I think you're walking with Lord Dryland, and you're about to come upon Reggie and Valem, and I think that Caspier is going to basically try to call out to you, Valem, as he's approaching. Cylinder, what are you going to do?
I mean, if he's gonna bring over one of my friends, I'll probably allow it for now.
Okay, so that's what I was curious about. So what he'll do is he'll say, "Oh, Valem, you made a new friend. Wonderful, wonderful. And sir, who might you be? Finely dressed on this lovely evening on my boat." And he's like looking at you, Reggie.
Lord Reginald Ramsbottom. Ramsbottom Vineyards and Baldur's Gate.
Oh, Lord Ramsbottom. And he does that thing where he's got this like great big smile, and he like leans back as if he's like in awe of it. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. From Baldur's Gate. Maybe you know Lady Icewing here.
I believe we've met before.
Yes.
Oh, indeed. New friends all around. So, a lord, you say? Yes, from Baldur's Gate. That's quite interesting indeed. Did you have a vineyard nearby? A winery of a sort?
Well, down south, but we're expanding into the north lately, and this is quite a lovely casino. Might be a perfect venue for appreciative palates.
Indeed. I think you're exactly right. He said maybe you and I could chat. That is, if Lady Icewing will release me from the prison of her charm. Oh dear, I don't want to bore you with business. I might have a proposition for Lord Ramsbottom.
Well, I had a proposition for you.
And like he starts to blush. The night is long, my dear. As are other things. And he like looks at both of you, Valem and Reggie, and like winks knowingly.
As long as you don't keep me waiting too long, Lord Dryland.
Oh dear. I think I'm going to disappoint no matter how long it takes. Right, gents. And, sorry, I'm laughing.
For the record, you do awful very well.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's like...
I mean, I'm trying to demonstrate how slimy this guy is, and I think it's coming across. So that's, to my mind, a success.
It's very hard to respond to.
I'm really glad I'm not part of this.
So, yeah, so he will try to break off from you, Selena, and like Reggie, he'll try to like pull you away.
Yeah, I'll go with the Lord.
Okay. Yeah, so he walks along with you, and if you don't have
I'll
a
stick
drink,
my tongue out at Celinda as I walk by. Because I don't know if she messaged me or Valem, but if she did, because...
Probably both of you.
what do you message them?
I was just messaging them about going to...
She was about to try something, and then...
I really was.
Okay. So yeah, Caspier pulls you away, Reggie. And I think we have that kind of tableau where like Selenda is standing next to Valem. Valem's just stuffing his face with wieners, and Selenda, you're just like frustrated because you had this idea. And
for the record, you keep saying wieners, but I specifically said like shrimp cocktails.
You said wieners. You specifically.
I
said
never
wieners.
said wieners. It's even.
I heard you say wieners.
It's even in an emote.
You said
Valem finds a
cocktail
table
wieners.
filled with shrimp cocktail and doesn't leave. So
okay, yeah, so that's fine. You can be.
You have wieners in the brain. That's.
Well, if you want to be eating cocktails, that's fine. So. So yeah, Reggie, the Lord Dryland pulls you away, and he begins on you almost immediately. He says, "So you're looking to open a winery nearby? I might be able to assist with that. I've got quite some connections in the city, you see."
Oh, do you?
Oh, I do indeed. But you understand, quid pro quo, tit for tat. You see, I've got aspirations here in the city.
Don't we all?
Of course, you understand. A man of means such as yourself, you understand aspirations, and I'm always looking for investors, backers, if you would. I just think that the city it's been run very poorly by our current water baron. She's done a very poor job, especially of taking care of men such as you and I, men such as ourselves, men of means and ways, and I think I can bring about great change to the city.
Well, that is quite high aspirations, and perhaps there is some arrangement we can come to if this place were to serve some of the Ramsbottom products as its specialties, get the name out there.
Oh, so wonderful that you understand me. Oh, I feel that this is the start of an excellent business venture, sir.
But I have been concerned of late, as part of another reason I'm on the road is, all these giant attacks that have been going on in the north. And just want to make sure I'm not going to be doing business in a place that might be target to some sort of repercussion from giants.
Oh, sir, I would not be worried about such a thing if I were you. I feel like this is giving it to you, but roll me insight. Oh.
4. I'm going to use luck.
Okay, that's probably wise. Rolls a 5. 13. So, Drylund is not a difficult man to read. When he says that, there's something that he's not telling you. Very obviously not telling you. It's hard. There's no way for you to know what it is, but he absolutely believes that he has nothing to worry about when it comes to giants.
Okay.
He says, you see how good I am at corralling the nobles, and your wine and brandy on my ship. Oh, I believe that we could both do quite well. Of course, a man, I would normally question the quality of such an item, but I just believe, sir, that you and we're on a similar, wavelength here, and not something anyone in D&D would say, but I don't know how else to say that. He says, I'm sure that we can make good business, you and I. I help bring your wine in, you help make me the water baron. I become water baron, you become a whiskey baron. It's perfect, simpatico. And he's very excited about this.
Well, cheers to new opportunities.
Well, indeed. And he just reaches out and finds a servant, just snatches a glass of God knows what, and he just cheers a glass to you. Yeah. And he's very pleased with himself. Sorry, go ahead.
I guess, I'd chat with him just a little bit more and kind of be like, well, I've brought some with me, but not here. I can be tomorrow in the daytime. We can go hammer out some more actual details.
Well, I would hope it would have to be late in the day. You see, I must spend most of the day sleeping. I need my rest after our nightly charades, you see.
Of course, I just wouldn't want to keep you from your guests. Just for business.
Oh, well, sir, you're just as important a guest as the rest. Please. You bother me not at all. But I appreciate your concern. Proper stock you are, I can see that. I can see that right away. And unless you have something else to say, he'll kind of shake your hand and very graciously, he's very excited for whatever future deals to come. And he'll kind of part ways. He'll say, I do need to spend time with the other guests, or maybe he's even gonna draw up contracts, or he's just gonna give this the full attention that it deserves. And he kind of waddles off. So you tell me, but I assume you probably make your way back to Valem and Selenda. But while that's happening, Elizabeth, are you just hanging out upstairs?
I've been trying to think on that. If it doesn't look like this set's gonna end anytime soon, and it also occurs very belatedly that we're on a boat. It's not like she can get far.
Also true.
We
So
obviously know
as soon as
that-
she's been up there for a little bit, she'll start dancing her way back towards the stairs to head down.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so you
So-
head your way back downstairs. Alton, what are you doing? Like once you leave your best friend forever.
Yep, my best friend is possibly falling off the boat at this point. So too bad, so sad. I see there's the pocket of people talking to Sir Slavs a lot.
Like when you come in, like you probably see. Yeah, you would come in that scene, and you would probably see Dryland like wander off with Reggie. But it would be leaving Balaam and Celinda kind of standing there for a moment, if that's when you wanted to enter the scene.
So to speak, this is a fairly crowded place, so I have no problem using telepathy, more or less, just to look around. Has anyone seen Beth? I lost her.
In this moment, Beth comes stumbling down the stairs.
I did see her at the canasta table.
Yeah, instead of playing craps, they play crabs.
I mean, is it okay that this is the time when Beth comes downstairs?
I mean, I'm fine with it. It's up to you guys.
Okay. So yeah, Beth comes down, looks, tries to find. I'm assuming the first thing she would see is either Valem's head or Celinda's horns, and go for that. And she's not exactly composed, but she's trying to kind of... Yeah, and she just kind of comes up and grabs them both by the shoulder. Kella's upstairs.
Celinda just kind of looks at her, like, dumbfounded for a second. Like, did she really just say that?
I look at Valem, like, Kella? Nightstone? Because clearly Celinda's not registering right away.
Yeah,
Celinda turns and walks
wide.
towards the stairs.
I've got an arm on her and I'm keeping a hold of it. We are not charging in. We gotta figure something out first.
She'll get away if we don't.
We're on a boat! That's what I realized!
We just grab her and throw her overboard.
I look to Valem for help.
I'm gonna fireball her.
Yeah, very similar to what I told Reginald earlier. We're around too many innocents. I think it would be unwise to try to approach her here. Maybe we can watch her and see where she goes once we leave the ship.
Well, I thought about that. She's part of the band. So, and I'm gonna look to Celinda. Maybe he can get us a private audience with the band? You're the one who said you wanted to... whatever him.
I have other plans for him, though.
Ew!
She's
Really?
Irritated. Not that. Ew.
Oh.
I think the most important thing is that we remember why we're here. Do we think that Kella is a part of this? Do you think that she would know anything about King Hecaton?
Is that a serious question right now?
Because that's why we're here. Yes.
Well,
If this is just a red herring, if we go after her, we cause a scene, we get thrown off the ship, and we're eliminated from any sort of investigation. Now where do we go?
Though.
I mean, how is it ironic that her and her affiliations are found on a boat where we found a clue to an assassination? Like,
Here's the
I'm
thing,
seeing
though.
a connection.
Lord Dryland has something that he's not telling me. I am going to make him tell me.
And how are you going to do that?
I have my ways.
I thought you said you weren't doing that.
If I have to.
Ew!
I say we try to find, use as many options as we can to try to gain the information that we're looking for before making any physical altercations. So,
Yeah, no physical altercations, Celinda.
well, if Celinda wants to try to get information, maybe we let her do that before approaching Kella, because I think we all know how that's going to go once we see each other.
If Drylin tries to touch me, there's going to be a physical altercation.
She didn't seem to recognize me, because I was upstairs for a little while because I wasn't sure what to do.
I could
To be
make sure
fully
she
honest.
doesn't recognize me.
I'm not sure we want to risk magic. I mean, no weapon,
I can
sure.
cast magic without people seeing. She just gives you a smile. And she casts prestidigitation on you to make your hair fluff up, and you don't see anything.
And your disguises have always worked so well in the past.
Well, that was the past, wasn't it?
Celinda, did you want to talk with Caspier first?
Well, I didn't want to talk so much as threaten him, so...
How is this better?
Because I'm a scary person, and he's a little man.
Is Reginald here and just muted?
Not physically a little man.
I'm probably still talking to Casper right now.
Okay.
If that's your...
Sorry.
And I'll be walking into this conversation at some point. But
That's
I was
what I
just
was
going to
going to
say, if that's our plan, then maybe we divide and conquer. If you're going to go after Caspier, maybe a couple of us go after Kella. If we're going to do this, we might as well do it simultaneously.
I feel like I can take a fat nobleman.
Assuming that's all he is.
If not, I have greater invisibility. Dimension door. I can be out of there if he's too much for me to handle. Like, if he turns into a fucking dragon. She just rolls her eyes. Not that I think dragon would take something like that as a human form.
So are you thinking of getting him away, maybe his cabin or something to that effect?
Yes, and then I'm going to threaten him.
I suppose if you threaten him with the wrath of the storm giants, because one of his casino coins was found by the body of their queen.
Magic.
But this is what I would propose. Celinda, if you're going to go for Caspier, maybe I follow. I can use clairvoyance to listen into the cabin while you're in there.
Make you invisible.
So, I mean, that would at least have two of us in case he tries anything. The remaining party go after Kella and perhaps attempt to separate her from the band. Maybe the band takes a break. They attempt to interrogate, do other things to her at the same time.
There was a private back area behind the stage that was guarded off.
Are we trying to do something too? I say as I approach.
Kella's here.
Who?
She kind of started this whole thing.
That one woman, yeah.
The woman with the
yes.
potion. Make sure she doesn't drink any potions this time.
Actually, I think... No, that was Bellion that saw the potion.
That was us. That was in the room. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We broke down the door. You were with us.
Right. I didn't realize Reginald was in the room. I thought that was Bellion. Sorry.
No. Bellion was out back when she stabbed the dude. Or something like that.
So is Alton the only one she hasn't actually met, or did she meet Alton?
Oh, we met.
Alton
that was
O's
greatness.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That was the greatness of O's.
Okay.
The introduction.
Wait, O's. Slater.
No, back then it was O's.
I know, but I'm saying now.
Do you really want me to risk summoning him? I've intentionally not.
I didn't realize he wasn't here.
You never know when that one's about. Visible as the...
Oberon's somewhere around too.
So does this sound like a plan?
I had an interesting conversation with Lord Casper, mostly about, branding business, but he really wants to become the ruler of this town.
He's not going to.
Well, I brought up the, troubles with giants on the road, and not wanting to get into any business where there might be problems with giants, and I've been doing that a lot with a lot of people, and most of them get uncomfortable or don't, want to talk about such things. But he seemed oddly confident, almost
He's
smug.
hiding something. I'm pretty persuasive when I put my mind to it, and I couldn't get anything out of him. He's hiding something, and I'm going to find out what it is, or I'm going to kill him.
Don't do that.
Why not?
Because what if he's just hiding that he's, skimming profits? It's not unmurderable. You don't just kill
I
people.
know. I was
Come
being
on, Celinda.
dramatic.
Ladies and gentlemen, and I use that term very loosely.
But I am going to try and intimidate him.
I'm going to make the leap in logic. We have a guy who is using a casino to raise funding to try and take over a town, and we have a known member of the Centarum. And this doesn't sound at all familiar to any of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well.
And again, the proposal of my plan is to split us up. I can go with Celinda. I said we can do this one of two ways. I can either use clairvoyance, or you proposed making me invisible. The rest of you
do that for a minute, though.
Confront Kella. Then I think maybe I wait outside the cabin and just use clairvoyance, because I can believe I could hold that for up to 10 minutes.
And the rest of us go
after Kella.
Introduce ourselves to the band.
My amulet's not going to interfere with that, is it?
Ooh, I forgot about that.
I have the anti-scrying / yeah.
That probably will. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hidden from divination magic. Should I leave it with you then? Clairvoyance is a divination spell, yes.
Or turn it off.
I don't know that I can, but I can take it off and leave it with you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, I'll take my necklace off and hand it to either Beth or Balaam, just in case. I don't know if it's going to interfere, but because it does specifically say magical scrying, but it also says divination magic, so...
I'll let Balaam take it. Beth's already wearing her necklace of light tucked into the dress.
I mean, she expects to have it back when she's done. She just... Give me into your hold.
I don't have pockets.
What has it got in its pockets?
Oh, what? That's what your boobs are for, Beth.
I don't want to bring more attention to them.
But they're... Never mind.
Fine, I'll grab the thing and shove it in my boobs.
She needs a little patting anyways.
Okay. All right. So the plan is for you guys to split up then?
Yep. Again.
Yeah, great. All right. So who's going where? Celinda is going to threaten what's his nuts, right?
What's his nuts?
Yep.
Casper
Dryland.
I like that name.
Yeah. And Balaam, you're going kind of with her to observe?
Yeah, I'm gonna loosely follow them. They can be up to a mile away from me, so I don't have to be like right outside the door or anything like that. So I want to wait until they move towards the cabin, then I'm gonna start casting, because I think it's like a 10-minute cast time as well.
Okay. Elizabeth, Reginald, Altner, are you guys going to deal with Kella then?
I suppose.
Yeah.
I feel like we're the three at least. Or I guess then we have Alden's a good caster.
Okay.
Alton's, if not for the spell slots, he'd be a better caster than me.
Okay, so yeah, you guys, you split up Mission Impossible style, and I think now is a good time for us to take a break, and we'll come back and see how your plans unfold.
Done.
Yay!
Done.
Blow up in our faces.
This boat is going to be on fire before the night is over.
Done. I'd be genuinely surprised if it wasn't.
Okay, I'm going to go grab some barbecued ribs.
Yep, let's meet back here in about 10 minutes, about quarter after. I'm going to mute us. Someone remind me to unmute when we come back.
than the rest of us, except maybe Reginald.
Sometimes.
All right. So
Alton has behaved for the most part.
Valem's pretty up there too.
let's run down the list real quick. Conrad, you here?
Yep.
Okay, I heard Jason. Gwen, muted, but I think she's here.
I'm here. I'm just eating. Sorry.
John?
Here.
Okay, and Mel is here. Cool. So
Unmute.
I did. It was the first thing I did. Thank you, though. Cool. So, yeah, you guys
Probably should.
you need to. You're splitting up. So now, I guess here's a leading question. But Celenda, you warned, or I'm sorry, not Celenda. Elizabeth, you warned them that Kella's upstairs. Like they know where she is.
I said she's upstairs and she's part of the band.
Okay. All right. So, who wants to go first? Like Celenda and Valem, are you going to go, or do you want to let the others try to deal with Kella first?
That's up to Balaam, I guess.
Yeah, my call, because I need to go somewhere, like a coat locker or something like that, because, again, I have to start casting clairvoyance.
Okay. So, yeah, you
kind of
find...
slip away, try to find a silent room or something.
Okay. I don't know where you're going to go necessarily that's going to be great for that. Let me just double check to see if there's, like, somewhere... I should have gotten something to eat, because now I'm hungry. Figures.
Just go into the men's room.
Yeah, you could do that. If
They
you
say there
want.
has to be a privy.
People would eventually start beating on the door, though.
10 minutes in the bathroom? I don't know that they would start beating. Well, maybe on a big ship like this, if it was only one bathroom.
Yeah, actually, the restrooms are downstairs, so you could actually go down there if you wished.
What about a broom closet?
That's what I was thinking, like a coat locker or something.
Well, the thing is, every room in this place is accounted for. There's the hold, which is downstairs, which is where the food and drink are kept. There are the bathrooms. Let me see.
Wouldn't there be private chambers?
I mean, there's the crew cabins, but you're not supposed to go in there.
So where do you get together with the escorts?
Well, that is something else. Let's see. I think there are rooms, or maybe. That's a good question. We'll just say, because I don't know. There's probably a couple rooms downstairs that you would use for that kind of business. And there might be, like, next to the hold, there would be a room for, like... Because the thing is, there's no place to keep weapons, because weapons aren't allowed on board. But, like, coats, handbags maybe could be kept down there.
Mm-hmm.
So you go downstairs. I will move your token down to an appropriate room here. As soon as I find your token. Is this you? No. There you are. So you're kind of like there. So you find your way downstairs.
Where'd I go? Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so Celenda, what do you do? Because it's your turn, basically. Like, Valem's going to start casting this spell.
I'm going to go find Casper.
Okay, he's schmoozing on the main deck, as he always is.
If he doesn't notice her when she comes up, she's going to come up behind him, and she's just going to, like, kind of press herself against his arm as she takes it.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of, like, looks back and smiles, says, oh, well, it hasn't been long at all, but I do have a sort of way with the women, as you all know. And, like, all the nobles sit there, like, laugh and chuckle.
She kind of bats her eyes at him. She's making sure to, like, let him get a good feel for her assets.
Yeah, I mean, he starts to blush a little bit, surprisingly. He says, if you'll all excuse me, I have apparently some urgent business that needs tending. And, like, all the nobles smile and, like, wave him off, and he turns back to you. He says, you just can't keep yourself away from me tonight, I see.
Well, when a girl sees something she wants, she needs to go for it.
Well, indeed, but I did say, that the night is quite long.
The sooner we start, the more energy we'll have.
Oh, I suppose that's true. Well, should we have a drink first, or straight to business?
Don't have drinks in your room.
Well, I suppose I do, but there's so many guests, and I shouldn't just leave them here. And he's, like, very clearly nervous.
If you don't want to. Well, she kind of pouts.
Why don't you give me a persuasion check with advantage?
All right.
You're trying pretty hard.
I'm also got a 9 in persuasion, so.
I mean, yeah, you also rolled a 1 apparently on the first roll. He says, well, I suppose if we're not gone that long, we could, of course, go right upstairs. Oh dear. And, like, he's like surprisingly nervous about this.
Jeez. Is he a virgin?
I doubt it, but he says, "Please, after you." And he kind of pushes you in front of him, like gently, like playfully, and like spanks you on the bottom, like smacks your bottom. He's like, "Let's go," like kind of like getting excited about it.
Interesting. Yeah, she'll saunter ahead of him.
Okay, and other people are like waving at him and everything, and he's trying to like be courteous to them while at the same time being dismissive enough to just like race you upstairs. So the first room. Oh shoot. Excuse me. The first room that you will come across, and I can move your token here because you're gonna have to go up the stairs. Is that's not. Oh, that's not the right person, but that's okay. Is the dance hall, and you see that there's other commoners up here dancing. You do spot Kella as you expect to see her. How are you gonna? What are you gonna do here?
I'm gonna act like I didn't see her.
I think that's going to be deception, maybe sleight of hand. Well, if you're acting, I feel like it's probably deception.
That's fine. I'm not horrible at deception either. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, she hates Kella. It's totally in character.
Deception. Yeah, and I think like as you're trying to look past, I'm assuming you're trying to avoid eye contact with her.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel her eyes on you.
Lovely.
The music, she doesn't miss a beat with the music, but you can feel as though she's glaring through you.
Yeah.
So Caspier kind of draws aside the curtain, which I'll move here, and then he kind of pushes you through. Like again, still playful. He's not being rough with you, but like he wants to move you through. So you kind of come up here. Is there another door there? There is. And the door here. And he'll push you through. And then I will describe this room. And he'll like close the door behind him. I'm not going to redraw the line.
Yeah.
But so the cabin here is much as down below is a testament to Dryland's taste. It's got, again, purple velvet curtains. There's scented candles in this, like, large, gaudy candelabra. In the middle of the room, you can see that there's actually a table with a large aquarium tank that is resting on top of the table. The aquarium actually holds a coral reef that seems to serve as a home for an octopus. Other furnishings here in the room, there's a large silk hammock, very large. A writing desk, which is covered with quills, like loose sheets of blank parchment, that sort of thing. There's a small table that holds a silver wine decanter and a matching goblet, just one, and a small iron stove. And Dryland says, well, it's not the most comfortable furnishings, I'm afraid. I have more comfortable sheets in my manor, in Yata, of course, but these will have to do. And he sort of like pulls you over to the hammock.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess she kind of looks at that like What? An octopus?
Yeah, there's a pet octopus in the room.
You have a pet octopus. That's quite odd.
Oh, well, man's got to have something to keep him company when he's all alone in the sad room all day, and he like gives you like puppy dog eyes.
Well, I guess I can understand liking exotic animals. I have a tressa myself.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't think that would get along with the octopus, but what are you going to do?
Probably not. She'll go with him though.
Okay. Yeah, and like he keeps like pushing you down onto the hammock, and like he's being gentle with you, but like he's trying to get you to like lay down in the hammock.
She's gonna try and get him to do the exact opposite. Like she's gonna mount.
How do you mean?
You know, she's getting on him. So
you're laying him on the hammock, and then you're gonna get on top.
well, that's what she's gonna make him think.
Okay. If you're not actually doing that, I feel like we probably have to roll.
All right.
I don't know what the roll would be. I mean, maybe deception.
Deception would be fine.
Okay, if you want to roll that. Oops, that is the wrong sheet. Let me find his character sheet here in a second. Yeah, so he actually he's able to like see what you're trying to do, and he kind of shifts his massive weight and like basically like pulls you down first, and then like lays down next to you, and some of his weight is like on you. So it's gonna
She's gonna put her hand in his face and prepare a spell.
And Valem, I think it's safe to say like it took them long enough to get up there that you're probably like your clairvoyance kind of like cuts into view right as like he pulls her down and like lays her down on the bed. And you're I don't know, I know you linked it. I didn't read through it because it's a wall of text. Do you see through her vision?
I hear.
Oh, you're hearing it. Oh, that's even
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're hearing suddenly the creaking of the hammock, and like he's starting to like get excited, and you can hear his panting. And he says to you, Celinda, he says, unless you tell me otherwise, I'm going to try to be gentle with you.
You touch me one more time and you're gonna die.
And he's literally putting his hands on your thighs as you say that, and his eyes go completely wide. He said, "No, that's not appropriate at all." What?
Her hand starts glowing. She's got a spell prepared. She's gonna, you move, and I'm gonna kill you.
You're gonna have to make an intimidation check.
Do I have an advantage? Because I do have a spell going off right in his face.
I mean, well, first of all, you didn't. I don't think you said you were preparing a spell before you were going in here. But, like, what is the spell?
It takes me 6 seconds to make a spell, though.
What is the spell?
It is Scorching Ray.
Okay. Is there like a visual element to that? Can he actually see?
Her hand's probably on fire.
Okay. Yeah, make an intimidation check with advantage. Okay. He's gonna roll. What should he roll to combat that? Insight?
Probably.
He actually rolled a 17. So initially he thinks it's like a joke. He says, "Oh, some sort of kinky game. I see. I didn't think you for such a dirty girl. Oh," and it almost like excites him more.
I'm so tempted to hit him with the spell.
And the thing is, like, if you don't use the spell, you're gonna lose it. So,
it's gonna make noise if I use it, though.
might also, light the boat on fire. So there's that.
Or kill him.
That too.
Or kill him, yeah.
Shoot
I'm more
his
worried about
octopus.
killing him. No, I don't want to make noise either.
So you have a moment here before you lose your spell. What are you doing?
Can I hit him but not kill him.
You can't. There's no such thing as non-lethal damage with magic. We've established that, I think, before.
Yep.
So if you...
I'm going to reach down and I'm going to grab his family jewels and give them a twist.
Okay. You're going to let the spell fade then?
For now.
Okay, so you lose that spell slot.
Yeah. I mean it, Lord Jylan.
You can make another intimidation check, but this one's going to be flat because now he thinks it's a game. Like, well, let me ask you this, I guess. Are you grabbing his jewels as a means of
Hurt
threatening?
him.
Are you actually trying to
Gonna
physically
hurt.
Okay, all right. So, first of all, roll a d4.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Roll a d8 because it's his
Okay.
family jewels. So you do 1 point. So you don't twist too hard. And
Kind of hard to find.
yeah.
Poor
A
guy.
lot of reaching around.
Roll intimidation.
Okay.
I feel like it's just a flat roll though, because oh my god,
Mhm.
and like you feel him. Oh god, you feel him start to get very aroused in your hand. He's clearly like excited. He says, "Oh, if that's how you want to play," and like he starts to grab you, like he grabs your bottom, like he's starting to get rough.
I'm gonna Ray of Frost his balls.
Well, hang on, like Valem, you're heading up to the room.
Yeah, I'm heading. Just let me know when I'm there.
Okay. Just head toward the cabin. Okay. So roll your Ray of Frost.
God.
It's at disadvantage. It's a ranged attack at melee.
Yeah.
True. I don't think it's
Probably
gonna.
for the best.
Well, okay. Roll damage.
Please don't kill him.
Okay. His whole body. His whole body basically almost goes into shock. You can still feel him in your hand. That hasn't changed, but you can feel like his whole body stiffen from the Ray of Frost, and he is still alive, but very clearly going into shock.
I said, take your hands off me.
At this point, like I think his hands actually have automatically pulled back, and they've pulled to his chest because he probably thinks he's having a heart attack. He is officially panicked, like completely freaked out. I think Valem, you come up outside. Well, you go upstairs. Are you doing anything to deal with Kella? Because she's still there. Do you care?
Me?
Yes.
No, I'm going straight to the cabin.
So, like, even if she sees you, you're just like, whatever, fuck it. Because you have to.
I'm not really looking for her. I never saw where she was at. I know that Beth mentioned that she was part of the band, but I'm not looking for her in particular. Like, if she goes out of her way to try to do something to me, obviously I would react to that, but
No.
I'm not looking for her at all.
Okay, no, she's just, she clearly just, she sees you walk past, but yeah, she makes no motion to get up. So you head outside of the room. The door is closed. It's not locked. You probably like get up there right as you hear like this tiny shriek coming from him. Why don't we cut to the other group? What are you guys doing? So like as Celinda's gone up, you guys, this isn't all happening. Obviously, like you're not going up after Valem goes up. He probably passed you, but like, what do you do to deal with Kella?
I kind of like Reginald's idea that we discussed. So Beth will make her way into the crowd again towards the door. I'm kind of standing on her, but
You are. That's okay.
Now I thought you said that this was guarded, or is it just?
No, the curtain.
It's just a curtain.
Yeah, it's just a curtain. The curtain's not guarded. It was never guarded. Sorry, it was closed, but it wasn't like locked or anything. It's just a curtain.
Okay. Yeah. So
It's
Beth
kind
would
of-
kind of be.
it's kind of designed such that like you're not supposed to just like go through it, but there's no guard there. That's how I should have displayed it before.
Okay, yes. So Bethel kind of be over in that area, still dancing, still kind of keeping an eye on it, on her, whatever. While Reginald goes to do what he wants to do. I don't know if Elton's going to stick with me or Reginald though.
I'm going to stick at these stairs.
So yeah, I'm gonna hang out listening to the music, and when the song ends, I'm just gonna walk straight up to Kella and say, "Do you take requests?"
And she's clearly not like the leader of the band, and they're still playing when you say that. I think like the playing hasn't stopped, and like you're making no attempt to like hide who you are. Like you're just like expecting her to.
Nope. I'm walking straight up to her, like I kind of like not with exact recognition, but like I'm not. I didn't look around at any of the other band members. I just walked straight to her, and kind of have a half grin on my face.
And she, her face becomes an immediate like scowl, just like almost a rictus of pain looking at you. And she just, while still playing, just like vigorously like shakes her head no.
Is there any recognition on her face?
I mean, the scowl kind of tells you what you're looking to find out. Like she clearly knows who you are.
Just to provoke her, I want to say that's a shame. I was hoping to hear the Ballad of Andros. That was his name, right?
It was, and I think that's totally gonna. That's totally.
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Oh shit! That is so good.
That is
This is why I like the idea.
Like,
the direct approach is always fun.
That is so much worse than like, oh my god. So I thought this was going to go one way, but I think it's totally going to go another way now. She is going to. In very very deft with very deft hands while playing. Oh shit. She is going to. Oh god, I kind of feel like this is what's going to happen here. She is going to just very quickly like drop her. I for some reason this whole time I've been picturing her playing a flute, but she's going to drop her instrument, and then like underneath her chair that she's sitting on, I think she's basically going to just draw a short sword, and she's going to come at you.
Beth, does Beth see this?
I mean, you're right there. Reggie, I'm gonna have to move your token because there's no way you're seeing.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, I walked right up to her, so.
Right, exactly. I need to move this other shit. I can't even read it anymore. Hold on, I have to find her. Yeah, she's gonna swing at you.
Let's see.
Elizabeth, you're there, so if you can have a reaction, but it'll depend on what it is.
She just kind of wants to, seeing the sword, anybody who's near her that's not Reginald, she's just gonna kind of like push them back. Again, she's of a similar mind of Valem. Like she doesn't want the innocents hurt, and she's pretty positive that Reginald can take care of himself. So she's gonna try and just push anybody near this a potential clash back.
Oh shit! I closed that, didn't I? Okay. Yeah. So she's gonna pull out the short sword and she's gonna try to like slash at you with it.
I think my AC is 13 right now. Is it? Wait, no, or is it 11?
Well, I think regardless, she's in her rage. She like pulls out the short sword, but it kind of like clangs off one of the legs. Like this is not how she was expecting this to go. So she pulls the sword all the way out, but slashes at you, and you're able to just like pull back very slightly so that the sword doesn't hit you. This, however, is going to change the environment of the scene because suddenly, very abruptly, all the music stops. The dancers in the room begin to flee for the stairs.
I will let them go down.
Okay. Just casually like step aside so they can like flee down the stairs.
Oh yeah, just very calmly. I'm leaning at this point on a railing, just watching this.
And Kella looks at you with just this seething hatred. Absolutely just furious. I don't think she says anything yet. Like, I think she's just absolutely fury. Like, what are you doing?
I guess I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna say, well, there's no need to get angry, but if you don't know it, but it's a story about a warlock who got in over his head.
Oh my god. I
And
wish Celinda could see this.
she looks up. She says, I didn't come here for you, but I'll be glad to see you die with this ship. And she reaches under the chair and she actually pulls out a spell scroll.
Can I try and grapple her as she's reaching under, like grab her arm to stop her if I see her reaching for something else?
Yeah,
I would totally assist with this.
You
Close
can
enough.
you can grapple, yeah, and I'll give you advantage for Elizabeth's help.
Because as I move up, I'm just saying, you shouldn't be mad at him. I took the final shot that put him down.
And it doesn't help enough. She's faster than you, and she's already ready. So she does actually manage to prevent your grapple, and she reaches down, she grabs the spell scroll, and she's going to begin to read it. So you all have like a moment here before she finishes it.
She ain't doing nothing.
I have the Mage Slayer feat now, so I can make a reactionary attack.
Okay.
Counter spell.
I mean, you can, like, Elton is going to counterspell, which is automatically going to fizzle the scroll.
Counter.
So she starts to read it, and, like, abruptly you start to see the text on the scroll begin to, like, float away. And, like, her eyes go wide, and she's all fury. She's this absolutely, like, inconsolable. You can see her eyes going red, but also, like, filling with tears. She says to you, kill me. Fine. This will never be the end of, this will never be the end. You think that I'm the last Zent you'll ever see? And, like, she's, like, harsh and take a breath, just, like, waiting for you to slay her.
I said, of course not. I assume there's many more, and climb out of their tunnels when appropriate, but perhaps we could have a word first.
And if that's what you're doing, she's going to swing at you again.
Has no one alerted guards yet?
They're going to be running in soon. But she's going to take a swing. 18. So you take 8 piercing damage as her sword connects with you, and you don't have your normal armor on.
Yep.
And she sees the blood splatter, and she says, "Just to remember me." And she. You guys have a moment here, but she's going to try to run through the curtain. Like, she's going to turn to flee. What are you doing? Like, and I think what happens is, like, well, actually, let's do it this way. So as she's pulling back the curtain, the camera sees Valem standing outside of the door. So what is happening inside? And I think Valem, you can very clearly hear that something is happening that way, and you can see her face as she, like, begins to run through the curtain. But you've been standing there, like, listening to Celinda doing some weird kinky fetish shit with Caspier Dryland. Like, what are you guys doing up there with Dryland?
Well, as soon as I got to the door, I want to cast Silence and then just kind of burst in.
Nice. Okay, so you totally do that. Yeah.
No, I want to talk to him.
Oh, not in the room. I want it, like, on the door, like, in case I had to burst, like, pound through the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want it silent in the hall outside, so they can't hear. No one passerbys or anything like that can hear what's happening inside.
No one can hear his screams.
And you run in to see Celenda. Like Caspier is, like, holding his chest, and Celenda's got her hand wrapped around his knob, and he looks like he's in agonizing pain.
I'm
Are there 2
pushing
people
him
here?
off me as well.
Who's this?
That's an octopus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you run in and see
probably
this.
just pushing him off.
You pushing him off?
Yeah, probably with my feet.
Never mind. I was making a bad joke. Anyway. Okay, so Valem, what do you do after running in?
I imagine I watched Celinda pull her hand out of his pants and like, dude, gross.
In his pants. Jesus Christ.
Gross, Celinda.
She just, like, pushes him off and then, like, kind of puts her foot on him and, like, pushes him to his knees.
So this is getting kinkier by the minute. Yeah, he can barely like hold himself up. I mean, he's clearly like on the cusp of dying.
Now, Lord Dryland, you don't look so good.
I thought we had something special.
Now, my friend here is a doctor. He can help you, but you're going to have to talk. Otherwise, I'll just kill you.
He says, you'll never make it off the ship. The guards! The guards! And like he's trying to yell to get somebody's attention.
No one can hear you. I can assure you of that.
And like
now you're gonna answer some questions, or things are gonna get messy in here.
Very messy.
Yeah, messier than they've already been. Okay, so yeah, he's like shivering and like in a lot of pain right now.
I want to take out my healer's kit and maybe pull out a scalpel or something like that. Not to approach him with it, but just kind of like showing him things that I'm just kind of going through different tools and stuff.
Okay.
Poke it against your finger, be like, yeah, it's sharp enough.
So I'm guessing your goal here is to intimidate him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out a potion of healing. And I'm going to kneel down next to him. Now, what is it going to be?
Okay.
Or will hurt you.
Okay. All right. No, no more. Oh dear. And like you can see, he's like grabbing his crotch now, and like he's still grabbing his heart, and he's, like I said, the shock is really setting in at this point. He says, and he like raises a hand up as if in surrender. All right. What is it you wish to know? Please don't hurt me anymore. And he like again like protects his crotch.
She pulls the chip out of her brassiere. Now, Lord Dryland, we found this on the corpse of a giant queen.
Yes.
Why?
Well, you see, there's a collective, a group of people. I happen to be a part, and it was the job to kill her.
And her husband?
Yes, he's being kept aboard a ship.
What's the name of the ship?
Oh.
And where is it?
And like he starts to get real freaked out. I don't know where it is. It moves around. The trackless sea. It's called the Morkoth.
Morkoth. Interesting.
Can I insight, see if he's telling the truth?
Sure, you can take advantage.
Is he pissing himself? Well,
yes.
Probably not, because I just froze his dick.
How? I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I didn't just freeze his dick.
Yeah, he's telling you the absolute truth.
Good. That's all we needed. She pets his head like he's a good dog. Good boy.
Where did he say the ship was headed?
Trackless sea.
And as you're standing there watching him, just like in shock and freaked out completely, you notice that his nose starts to bleed. And then his ears start to bleed.
Celinda, what are you doing?
I didn't do it to him. I didn't do it.
He starts to bleed from the eyeballs.
I didn't do it.
And his whole body just goes completely stiff.
What? I didn't do anything.
And the blood is coating his clothing and his face. And his eyes are just filled with blood. And his whole body just keels over. Your healing word has absolutely no effect.
I did not do that.
Celinda.
I didn't do it. I swear.
Alton, roll me an Arcana check.
I'm not in the room.
Roll me an Arcana check.
I can do that.
Shit, son.
Your nose starts to bleed.
Oh, no.
Oh, ballsack.
And it's okay. It's only light.
Liar.
But the boss is mad. He's not too
Oh, no.
pleased right now. Something's really upsetting him, and you're falling under some of the brunt of that.
What did I just mentally? What did I do?
What the hell was that?
And his body falls completely limp on the ground. The blood is pooling from his nose and his eyes and his ears around his skull, and he is completely dead. And
Linda, people aren't going to believe that we didn't do this.
You leave, and I'll stay here for a little while to make it look okay, and then I'll leave. I'll mess myself up, and then I'll leave, and we'll act like nothing happened.
And you, Valem, do you walk out of the room then?
Yes.
Perfect. So, a couple things are going to happen then. Why don't you move yourself into the hallway there? At that
I
point,
can tackle Kella.
no, she. Oh, you're trying to tackle her before she. Okay, so she's
Yeah,
she's
you didn't give me a
trying-
chance to answer before you phased to them.
So she's gonna push through the curtain. Valem, you're gonna see her, and then you're gonna see in slow motion as Elizabeth is gonna try to tackle her, and then on the other side behind you, a couple guards are gonna run out into the hallway. They are in fact armed.
Shit.
Elizabeth, why don't you roll? I guess if you're trying to grapple, it sounds like a strength athletics check.
Do I get any kind of advantage?
I don't. Well, you've
I don't
been.
know if like seeing Balaam is a shock. Like, oh shit, he's not like it's a dead end. Maybe I don't know. I'm hoping.
Okay, yeah, that'll give her pause. So yeah, take advantage.
I love you. Let's see if I do any better with this.
And she's gonna try to like dodge out of the way of it, basically. So she is gonna make a dexterity save.
Am I supposed to see Kella? I don't see her anywhere.
Oh, really? Did I not move that, Kurt?
I mean, I see you, Valem.
Yeah.
I see you as well.
There's the blonde in front of
yeah,
me.
that blonde is Kella. That's her token. This one.
Oh, I thought that was Beth.
No, I'm the one with the bow.
Yeah.
Beth
token
is
I've
way
had all game.
cuter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beth is way cuter.
That's Elizabeth. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, so Kella's in front. But she tries to duck out of the way of you, Elizabeth, but she's not fast enough. You do actually manage to grapple her. So
Do
you're
I see
basically...
the guards?
What's that?
Do I see the guards like as we go down?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's all slow motion. Valem, you see Elizabeth like suddenly slow-mo grab onto Kella, and the guards like burst forth into the hallway with their weapons out.
He's got a weapon!
And
As I tackle her and see the guards.
And Kella says, I think Kella just yells out, these guests, they're trying to hurt me.
Can I hear this?
I mean, actually, I don't think so, because silence is still up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in the
And
room.
I don't know if
with-
silence was a thing.
Can I walk behind as she says they're trying to hurt me, like bloodied with like a big slash across my chest, be like, she attacked me with a sword. I just asked for a song.
And
Yeah,
cue
that's-
the Benny Hill music.
The best part is that's true.
I mean, it is technically true.
You know, doing things the honest way has been working pretty well for us.
I keep saying that. No one believes me.
So, it's an excellent question. How do we adjudicate this? So it sounds like I think she's going to have to make a deception check. Kella's going to make a deception check. Opposed by the opposed by the guards. She'll make so with. Well, I feel like it's flat because it would be with advantage because Reginald is showing that he was wounded. But Elizabeth, you are like grappling her, which doesn't look great for them. So she's gonna make.
Does she still have the weapon in her hand, though?
Oh shit!
Like, she swung at him and then just took off.
You're right. Okay, so she'll make deception at disadvantage because of the weapon. Because she should definitely not have a weapon on board the ship. So she gets a 15. Whoever's typing, I don't think that's John for a change because it doesn't
It's
sound
not
like
That
me.
was me. Sorry, I have a new keyboard.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna make insight checks with wisdom. Oof.
They're well paid. They should be somewhat wise.
They are not at all. In fact, they're pretty unwise. In fact, the guards just draw their weapons immediately, and say, "Unhand that woman! What are you doing?" So we're dangerously close to rolling initiative. Like, is there anything else? Selenda can't act 'cause she's silenced.
I can cast in silence now.
You can cast, but you can't hear any of this going
Okay,
on.
yes, but I have a dead man in front of me.
Sure.
I'm gonna alter self and turn into him.
Nice.
Oh shit. All right. Yeah, you can totally do that.
And then I'm gonna exit the room.
Okay, so you go out into the hallway behind Valem.
She's
Now,
gonna look
can you-
around a little confused.
Can you roll, or can you just broadcast alter self?
Sure. I physically turn into this person. It is not an illusion.
Right, I understand that, but does your voice
Strength
change?
check to see if you can stand.
I physically turn into him, which means I probably have his vocal cords.
Yeah, the sound of your voice. Yes, you're right.
She's genuinely surprised at what's going on in the hallway now, so she's not faking this. She's like, "What is going on out here?"
Yeah, and the guard says, "My lord, these guests and the musician," and like he just raises his hand, like shrugs. I'm not sure.
She points at Kella.
Beth, not knowing this is Celinda. Sword is in her hand. She hit him.
Exactly. What is a player doing with a sword? You know our policy.
Yes, my lord, we do. We do, yes. And they're going to, and Kella's saying, like, she's starting to scream, like, no, it's not me, it's them. That's not. And she's like, well, actually, yes, she wouldn't know that you're not Lord Dryland. She says, but sir, these people, they're trying to kill me. They're making threats, and sir, please. And that's it, you, Celinda.
The only one here I see making threats is the one with the sword.
And the guards like rush forth, Valem. They're gonna like rush past you.
Sure, I push aside. Yep.
Okay. I guess here's a leading question, Celinda. Exactly where and how are you standing?
Right outside the very closed door.
That's what I was. Okay. So yeah, the guards will rush past you, Valem, and they will like apprehend Kella. The one will use one of the the little ports or windows or whatever you want to call it, and he will just like throw the sword out, and you can just barely make out the like sploosh as it hits the river. And they both like grab up Kella. Elizabeth, do you like let her go?
Oh yeah, as soon as the guards are here and like put their, I'm assuming they bend down to grab her arms and like the sword and stuff, Beth will back off, like hands up, like, sorry, just trying to protect people.
Yeah, and the guards say to you, Celinda, as Caspier Dryland, they say, do we treat this one as we do all offenders?
I think this one
Sir, if I may? I'd have some questions as, like, why she's here.
And the guards look at you a little confused. The one guard says, I think we should speak to the captain. He'll know what to do. And the other one's like,
need.
But sir, he's still the captain of the ship, and we do take orders from him, sir. He'll know what to do. Please, he'll want to be informed of this.
Leave her here while you inform him.
We can't do that, sir. For your protection, it's just too dangerous. And Kella's saying like, don't you leave them with me with them. They'll kill me. They'll kill me right here, and you don't want to have that blood on your hands.
I believe we should throw her overboard.
And word has gotten back to like the other side of the ship, and like there's yelling going on up and down the hallway from the I keep calling them bandits, from the guards, and another man sort of like appears at the far end, and they've like opened the doors. There's like another door down this way, and another man kind of like enters. I don't know if you can see him through the other tokens. Yeah, you can. He clearly looks. You actually met this man outside. He was the captain of the ship that you met outside. He says, "What is the meaning of this?" And the one guard says, like, "Sir, I don't know how it happened, but one of the musicians is an impersonator, a traitor, a sabotage. She had a sword, sir, and she was apparently attacking some of the guests." And the captain just says, "Then why is she still aboard this ship?" And the guards just say, "Yes, sir, right away." And they begin like dragging her toward the edge of the ship. Like they're going to chuck her out off of the ship. Does anyone try to stop them?
No.
Okay.
This is pretty funny.
And they heave her toward a window, and she's like, this dude has a name. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, that is not his name.
Does a girl have a
This
name?
is so amazing. Getting Kel thrown overboard.
Here's the vengeance. And I mean, we're like at this point, we've got to be a good hour and a half out of port. A long
This is
swim,
like-
depending on how fast we're moving.
Yeah, she says, "Stern, don't let them throw me out of the ship. I have information for you." Clearly speaking to the captain just says, "Why is she still talking?" And the guards just heave her and like with one massive just like throw her overboard. And like in the distance you just hear like sploosh. And then I think like as the ship is moving, you can like hear her coughing. Like probably because she got water in her lungs and everything. And the ship keeps moving the night away. And Kella is off the ship.
I love it.
That was
Have you ever seen the movie Maverick?
yeah. I've been thinking
Yeah.
about that. Whole boat.
Yeah, so you guys are
I
left.
guess the bad part of that is that she's still alive, and
Yeah,
now
but that's
she's really
pretty
gonna
funny.
hate us.
I love it though.
So many questions though, out of character. Yeah, so Beth's kind of standing awkwardly. She'll turn to Reggie. Oh, I don't have anything to do that with. Never mind. I have no spell component.
I'll be all right.
Oh god! Oh god! Beth doesn't know I'm Casper.
No.
I'm gonna go over to Beth and take her hand.
Again, awkward.
Lady Beth, and she puts her Beth's hand between Casper's fat, sweaty ones.
She
Lady,
winces.
would you like to join your friend with me in my quarters?
I'll pass. Just flat affect, like
You don't
Like,
know what you're
I'll
missing.
pass.
I promise. And she just starts stroking the back of Beth's hand.
Beth will pull her
I
hand
think
away.
you and all of our friends should join Casper in his quarters.
Yes.
I
That sounds
give
like-
Balaam
sounds like a-
death there.
I think
That's-
it would be very wise for all of us to go into his quarters.
Well, so long as I'm not in there alone with him and Celinda.
It
mean-
would be a great idea for all of us to go into his quarters immediately.
I look back at Reggie like, please don't
I-
leave me alone with him.
I suppose that. I mean, I don't want to intrude.
Intrude, please.
Oh, I'm sure it would be no intrusion.
Wait, what?
We do still have some business to discuss.
Wait,
Yes.
what? These are not the
Business.
two men I was expecting her to get sandwiched between.
Oh, a
Much,
sandwich.
much business. We have much business to take care of in his quarters.
Yes.
Alton is so confused.
I never thought I'd have the day where Beth would be more comfortable with the halfling.
Dryland's gonna try and pull Beth into the room with him.
Sure, her free hand's gonna grab Reginald's torn shirt and pull him along.
There's no need to be so scared. You're cute when you're scared.
I really don't think this is the time. I mean, you just had an assassin on your ship, and there were, questions, and
it was all.
I never got anything to eat. I'm kind of hungry, and I'll start backing towards Reginald.
And so
I can have something ordered.
Yeah, and so you get dragged into the room, Beth, and it's not long before you see the fat, bloated body that is its head is covered in blood. There's a pile of blood on the floor, and the octopus seems to be acting up. You notice it in the tank. The octopus is flitting around in the water. If it were human, we almost would describe it as panicked.
Do I know anything about octopusness?
I doubt it.
I did an animal handling.
I know. I have to look at something.
Upon seeing the dead body, though, and assuming Reginald and Valem follow me in, I actually relax and I look at the changed person, and I just hit you. I whack you right on the shoulder. You asshole!
Upon seeing the corpse, too, I say, What did I specifically ask you not to do?
I didn't do it.
I'm pretty sure Celinda did it.
I think close the door.
All I did was Ray of Frost his balls.
That would kill most normal people.
It didn't.
They're not
kill
all adventurers.
He died later.
I looked to Valem for confirmation.
I'm just kind of shaking my head. I was we were questioning him. We did get some answers. We believe we found where King Hecaton is being kept. But once he responded to our questions, this happened. So Celinda says it wasn't her.
It wasn't me.
I didn't see her do anything specifically, but
you also see me cast spells without.
We need to get out of here. We can't get caught on board because obviously these guards have seen us around the chambers. We need to go.
He will be seen out of his chambers without us having been in there, though. So there's that at least.
Yes, but now you drag the rest of us in immediately after.
Well, lots of people saw him schmoozing it up with me and Celinda on the floors, so even if Celinda wasn't seen there,
I can be seen after we all leave this room.
The chick with the chips. Is she gonna... Yeah, whatever her name is.
What her name? Pao something? Ming Pao?
I'm pretty sure if she talks to you for 10 seconds, you'll realize.
Well, I can be seen. I don't have to talk to people.
Okay, so people are going to come knocking after a commotion, so we need to figure out what we're doing and where we're going now.
We need to go over the side of the boat. I'm going to cast Water Walk. We can just run to the coast and get out of here.
If we go quick, we might be able to catch up to Kella.
Okay, I would like to eye the octopus.
Good idea.
Okay, looks like a freaked out octopus.
Right.
I should describe, since you're looking at it, sorry. There is, inside the aquarium, built into the table, is a shelf on which rests what appears to be like a wooden chest inside the aquarium. It does appear to have a lock on it.
The chest or the aquarium?
Sorry, this is confusing. I just realized. Beneath the aquarium, built into the table, is a shelf on which rests a locked wooden chest. And then inside the aquarium, like I said, there's coral for the octopus, but there is also a small, it's like in a fish tank where people buy little castles and stuff. There's a small chest in there, inside the aquarium.
Okay. Again, this is purely me. I have a bit of a paranoia. The boss just got mad, and there's an undersea creature here. So I'm going to telepathy it and see if I get anything out of it.
The octopus?
Yes, I'm dead serious.
Ooh, that's an interesting query. Are you like saying something to it or just?
Hold on, I actually have to read my own freaking mind. If it's able to understand the language, it and I can chat. Otherwise, it's just going to look at me oddly. Well, more oddly.
Well, then I can tell you. Let me see. Balls. Oh, no, we already had some dealings with balls.
More than enough, thank you.
It does not understand any language. No.
Okay, then I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to notice the chest and go, okay, so are we robbing him before we go, or are we just leaving?
I thought we had the information we wanted.
I
Alton,
might as well rob him.
Alton, you've got a little blood on your right by your nose.
I
You
know.
all right?
No, but well, I'll live.
Is there any reason we wouldn't rob him?
Well, we're not.
I don't think that's why we came here. Again, I think we need to get out of here.
He was a pervert for sure, but that's not.
That's not reason to rob somebody.
Did we learn anything?
We definitely learned the location.
We don't leave Celinda
of
alone
King
with strange
Hexagon.
men.
We don't want to get caught in this chamber while he's dead. We need to get off of the boat immediately.
If we get off the boat immediately, we can also probably catch up with Kella.
Okay, so we're bailing out of the boat. Sounds like a plan.
If we run now, we're going to be considered guilty no matter what. If we
Doesn't really matter though, does it?
Can you think of a
we
way
all
where we're
gave
not
out names.
guilty? They don't know my name. They do know my name, but I'm not known around here.
He was the only one who knew my. Oh shit. Oh,
We can take him with us. We can take him with us. I can cast again water walk on us and not him. We jump off the side of the boat. We just let him go. He sinks. We walk away.
I can prestidigitation the blood off the floor.
I don't think
All
we
right,
have time for
grab
that.
the corpse.
We're
Let's
gonna
go.
have to kill the octopus though, because somebody with speak with animals could talk to him.
Well, why don't we just free the octopus?
Does anyone know how many tickles it takes to make an octopus laugh?
How about I just kill him? And she reaches in
tentacles
to the tank, and she's gonna ray of frost the.
What did the octopus do to you?
No!
Actually,
Beth tries to stop her.
as you reach your hand into the tank,
Oh my god! Come on!
Always Celinda.
Why?
Don't
Why?
touch anything.
Yeah. Ooh, fuck. It tries to like reach out and attack you, and it rolled a crit fail and a crit, which is great. So it's like panicked and like moving around, and it tries to grab onto you, but it is unable to before you attack it.
Do I take it my interference did nothing?
Sorry, what were you trying to do?
I was going to try and stop Celinda because there's no reason to hurt the animal.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try to like grapple Celinda to stop her from casting a spell.
Sure.
I mean, also, if you're technically you're already at disadvantage, Celinda, because you reached your hand into the tank, which means you're basically in melee with the thing, because you're within 5 feet of it. Why don't you roll a strength athletics, Celinda, to see if you are able to fight off Beth? No, so
Fine, we'll throw it overboard.
You still unleashed a spell. Presumably.
I mean, we could have said that happened before she cast the spell, so like it could be enough for Celinda to stop casting it.
Okay.
Fine, but it's gonna try and attack you. I mean, it just tried to attack me.
Look out in the hall, see if anybody's there.
Actually,
there's not any windows in this room.
I
That's
can make
what this
you
is, yeah?
invisible.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
wait, I'm not
there
down
there are windows outside. Yes.
I can make you invisible for a minute.
Well, I mean, if the window's big enough, I'll just have the boys heft the tank and dump it out the window.
Can you make his body invisible?
But
It only lasts for so long.
I mean, if we're leaving, though, we could just throw him overboard.
I mean, if the window's big enough, I'll just have the boys heft the tank and dump it out the window.
Can you make his body invisible? I mean, if we're leaving, though, we could just throw him overboard.
Sure.
I
Invisible?
Just the octopus. I don't see the point of throwing the whole tank out.
No,
Probably too big.
I mean the dead body.
Oh, sure.
Because I don't know how we're going to move this guy if we're going to try.
Yeah,
I only.
Time is of the essence. We need
way
to
too
do
much
something
discussion happening here. Let's do this.
I agree.
I can dimension door out of here with him if somebody puts. If somebody puts the water walk spell on me, I could just dimension door out of here and.
Well, Balaam already said he did that.
I'm casting it right now. Boom. Let's go.
Right. Okay. So I'll follow, I guess, with the body. I'll teleport out.
Okay, so you teleport onto the water. The body is incredibly heavy. You know, you have to put your hands on it, and it's limp and gross. You know, you can feel almost the blood settling in the body. But you do teleport out onto the water, and you just let the body go. And for a moment, like, because he's a big fat dude, his body floats. Just for a moment. And you see the blood, like, pulling out into the water. And then his body slowly begins to sink. Very, very slowly. And the rest of you, do you follow? Are you doing anything with the octopus?
Probably should take that as well and throw that overboard.
And if everybody's insistent, I'll try and grab it out of there.
I'll take care of it. Everybody out.
Okay.
Somebody take the box as well.
I am going to use telekinesis. I'm ripping the entire thing out of the wall and bringing it with me.
Beth jumps out the window.
Okay.
Yeah, overboard.
Yeah, out.
They'll just think somebody robbed him.
Okay. So yeah, you guys make this huge clatter as you're ripping the tank out of the...
Oh, no, we don't. There's a silence spell up. I'm not that dumb.
How long is it up? An hour?
10 minutes?
I feel like this has been more than 10 minutes.
Pretty sure this is more than 10 minutes.
But okay. you can still rip it out. Like, that's not, I mean, that's up
I thought the silence spell was up anyway. I'll still rip it out.
Okay. So yeah, you rip the tank out of the wall, and the rest of you end up outside on the water. What do you do with the tank, Alton?
I telekinetically just bring it out.
Right, but do you let it sink because it doesn't have water walk on it, or are you keeping it with you?
Oh no, I'm just gonna more or less keep it on top of the water. Just it looks like a piece of debris in the river.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys all make your way out of the boat.
If it's full of water, it's not going to float, though.
He's got it in telekinesis, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it floats in air if I want
it. You're taking it with us? Put that thing away.
No, I ripped the entire thing. I took the chest and the octopus.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out, John. I was confused too, but I got it now.
Oh, you took the entire tank.
Yes.
I ripped the entire thing out of the wall.
Okay, so are we going to just dump the tank and take the box?
Probably.
I mean,
but we have to get the store first.
Yeah, are the chests something that can can Beth just grab the chest that's underneath the tank and be able to just carry it one-handed, or is it a hefty chest?
You could probably carry it. It is locked.
Okay, that's locked, but we can still grab it and.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Totally.
We just walk away.
I'd say we hustle. Because somebody's going to hear that and look out the window. I will do Pass Without Trace. Because it should be dark. We should have cover of night kind of thing.
Oh, I can stealth without disadvantage.
Yeah, because you're not wearing armor for a change.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, and I mean, I know technically Pass Without Trace is shadows and silence kind of just further cloak us. We don't have to worry about our footprints necessarily, but...
Okay, so you guys are running along the water.
Mm-hmm.
And, you flee off into the darkness. I assume you run for the coast.
Yeah.
Still get a 6.
Oh!
Which is a 16.
Yeah.
So, 34.
33, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slinda's not used to her form.
Celinda is skipping as Lord Dryland.
Ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom, ba-da- I don't know if you could
Wubba, wubba,
skip.
wubba,
That's a lot
wubba,
of weight to throw around.
She's probably also enjoying how creeped out that Beth is by her, and she's like exploiting it by being overly affectionate with Beth. Like, give me a hug, Beth.
Do you
Come
want
on.
to know what it's like to be kicked in the balls? Because I am glad to have you share that description. That way you know what it's like when you whatever. What did she do? A frost ray?
Yeah, I Ray frosted him right in that family jewels.
Yeah, so we just.
What happened? Why was he bleeding then?
I don't know.
Well, Phelim said it was when he spilled the secret of where this.
I didn't do anything to him. I swear.
It
This
literally
other
happened
boat
as
was.
soon as he told us. As soon as he told us what had happened to King Hecaton, it started
Yes.
happening.
We know where King Hecaton is. We just need to find the boat.
But I mean, okay, pause. Alton, bleeding, eyes, ears, nose. Sound familiar? Anything you can tell us about that?
Yeah, it happened to me.
Yeah, but it happens to you for a reason.
Yeah, namely that my
technically
boss
thing.
is pissed.
Right.
You
Which
What exactly
means
is
that his boss is pissed, or was. I mean,
Wait, do you,
probably
wait,
is pissed. But he's
do you
dead
guys
now.
work for the same guy?
I really hope not, because if you just offed one of his associates, I really don't want to have to hunt you.
Oh, shit.
Like, really, really.
do we
Wait,
kill
wait.
Alton now? As I watch Alton sink into the river.
Okay, can we
Telekinesis, I don't sink.
can we review what he told us quick?
Yeah,
Dryland,
we can have a walk and talk.
what I mean for my benefit. What was it he told us? Besides
King
the
Hecaton is aboard the Morkoth, and it's headed towards.
yeah,
He said there was an organization that wanted King
well,
them dead,
did he
and
say what it was?
I don't think so.
You never asked before you let him die.
And prevent it. I'm sure that ray of frost didn't make him any more survivable against whatever happened to him.
Well, I can assure you that it's not the Harpers and it's not the Lord's Alliance. So who else would that be?
The Zentarum.
The Centaurum, but
Well,
she
we
didn't
can.
seem like she didn't know Casper.
But she
No.
said she wasn't
said she
here
wasn't
for
here
us.
for us.
She
She
said she
knew
had
the
information
captain.
for the captain. So
Kella can't be far from here. Do you want to run her down? We can question her.
Let's try, yeah.
So you're probably
She can probably get away. She's gotten away before.
yeah. She's got quite a bit of a lead on you, and
I mean,
course.
she's swimming, and we're running at full speed.
true. But I mean, she could be by the coast by now. Like she could have, swam directly for the side.
yeah, any intelligent person would have swam directly for shore and gotten going.
Also,
And we don't know which shore.
I mean, we can.
She's also a magic user, so she might just be.
Based on the
Like,
location of the
I don't
ship
know.
in comparison to the coast and like the shortest route and things like that, maybe the current. Can I try to track her
Yeah,
to determine where she
that's
might be?
What I was gonna say. So you could
Survival?
roll a survival. Let me roll.
I don't suppose I can help with the tracking. I
Um,
was trying to say that before you rolled, but okay, that doesn't seem necessary.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
so-
good at this.
Wow.
Yeah, so you are barely able to find any sort of tracks for her. It takes you several minutes of like searching around to be able to find it. They're very, very well hidden. It seems like she knows how to move quietly when she needs to. But yeah, you could theoretically track her, but she does have a head start on you.
Are they going towards Yartar or somewhere else?
That is a good question. So let's take a look at our map here. Oh, Reggie, who puts his token right on Yarder. I love it.
Yep. So I can find where we are. I don't always have to look at all the little towns.
Let's see how far mileage wise. Yes, this is you're basically in the heart of the Desert Valley. I think she would have run west. Like she would have run somewhere in this vicinity here.
Then I genuinely think we have to hit Yartar. We are literally going to be wanted for murder and robbery in the near future, and all our stuff is there.
Yeah, that's right. You guys have none of your stuff either.
Well, our stuff is on the ship, so let's get
The
a
ship
hold of
is there
Kendrick.
too.
Get a hold of Kendrick. Have Kendrick come pick us up while we're chasing down Kella.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That would be ascending, I think, because I don't think we have the stones with us.
Oh, we don't.
How big are the sending stones? Like, are they pocketable?
They're just little stones with runes on them.
Yeah, I mean,
And if it's something I could have just kept in a pocket, like I probably would have kept mine just because we had.
I mean, if I need
Dad,
to,
if
I'll
we
just
needed a
cast
quick way
it.
to
But
get it.
yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't carry that with us.
you could. It would be an odd thing to bring on board, but yeah,
That's our Uber.
Yeah, it's like the cell phone. So
it's actually Lyft. But
Get out of town, head west. We may be wanted for murder. Thanks. Okay, thanks, bye.
okay, so
Screw May, we are.
you're gonna call to Kendrick and tell him to come pick you up.
yeah.
Might as well.
Okay,
Who's in tight somebody?
and then meanwhile, you're gonna keep chasing Kella.
Yes.
Okay.
Last thing we need is more Zentarum interference.
Yeah, so I mean, it won't take the ship long because the ship travels so fast that from Yarder, because it travels 8 miles an hour. So, I mean, you're only looking at like 3 hours before the ship gets to a vicinity to you. So why don't we make like a couple survival rolls and contested by her stealth to see if you're able to keep tracking her.
After an hour, I mean, for 10th level, I got my new favorite terrain, and I put coast. I don't know if that would help here.
Ooh,
I've got forest, mountains, and coast.
I mean, I feel like this is grassland. Like this is
Okay.
the valley. I mean,
To give us some help to locate, I'm going to cast Daylight as well on just any item of clothing that I'm wearing.
We should probably, and for the ship to locate us. You mean?
That and to help look for Kella.
Okay, because I was gonna say
So
you might want to wait.
It'll be ridiculously easy for them to find us now.
Yeah, it'll also be ridiculously easy for Kella to see us coming.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's
So I wanna wait
She
until-
has no idea who we are.
Well, she probably knows if anyone is coming after her.
like she'll see a bright spotlight on you.
But again, I mean,
I mean,
we're
I
trying-
So
still
I'm
think
just
this is
suggesting
right.
maybe wait an hour before what, because we know it's going to be a while before the ship gets here anyway. The airship even gets close, so maybe just hold on to that for a little bit.
Okay. I mean, I think it'll be easier to track her this way, but I mean, if you guys feel that's for the best, then I'll wait.
Okay, so why don't you roll? You guys decide. But one of you needs to roll survival. If you can tell me how you aid, then I will give you advantage.
Um,
Well, I'm just using standard tracking techniques, looking for bent branches, any
And-
type of movement.
yeah, and Beth will just be an extra set of eyes, so if he's looking more to the east, I'll look more to the west, that kind of thing.
If she poops or anything.
Okay, so it sounds like Valem is making the roll, so you'll make it with advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's much as before. Like it's. Sorry, my dog won't shut up.
It's fine.
Bork, bork.
Bork, bork, bork.
Better than the bird.
So anyway,
You didn't hear him earlier?
Nah.
Like, because I muted myself as soon as she started screaming.
So yeah, much as before, like it's hard for you to find the tracks, but you do. Again, like she's pretty good at it, and she's making her way, but you are able to continue tracking her. do I let you catch up to her is the question, because she has kind of a lead on you, but you are able to continue tracking her. So,
But does she know that we're chasing her? I mean, she would just be normal traveling as opposed to us that we're trying to run her down. Would there be a reason for her to be running away from us?
I mean, it's late, it's nighttime, and she's like out in the open, so like she has an urgency to her. I mean, she recognizes that she's in trouble and needs to find somewhere safe. She also has like no supplies with her too.
To die alone in the wilderness.
I'm just trying to make this like climactic, but because if I let you guys are just gonna catch her, then this just feels like I don't know.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, I have no
fine.
reason to say like you don't catch up with her. That doesn't mean she's not going to put up a fight when you do. But you're able to track her. Like, I'll leave it up to you. Like, do you want to just run up on her?
My question is, what are we going to do when we catch her? Because, I mean, Reginald and I are kind of useless without our stuff.
I plan on casting Hold Person on her. So that
I think we need to talk to her.
Try to...
I don't think she's going to
detain
give us
her?
any information, but I still.
I
wanna
mean,
keep her.
that's the thing. We can detain her. We can... If she
I wanna
refuses
know
to
why
answer,
she
we
said
can
we'd go
hold
down
on to
with
her
the
as long
boat.
as we need. Because the ship's going to show up, and we can just put her on the ship. Once we
I
get
don't
on the
wanna
ship,
put her
we
on
can
the ship.
manacle her.
If she's not going to give us any information, I'm going to kill her.
You're
Okay.
very murder happy.
Well, let's
No, this is
let's
warranted.
talk to her first. Let's step by step.
Okay, so we'll say that you guys can catch up to her. Valem, you'll need to roll Hold Person. What's the DC?
17 wisdom.
She fails. So yeah, you guys are out in the wilderness. It's late. The moon is high in the sky. And she just abruptly, like, I think she's like running. She sees you coming up on her, but you're close enough to cast the spell. And her body just immediately locks up and she like slams down into the ground. What do you do?
Run up and I guess we don't have any rope or anything, so I'm gonna physically, I guess, try to grapple her.
Yeah, I mean, you do. You don't need to make a roll for it because she's paralyzed. She can't fight you. And you're holding her for a minute, right? So, yeah. So what do you do?
I mean, she can't talk right now, so I suppose we just kind of surround her so she can't escape and wait for Hold Person to wear off. And
yeah, and she's even though she can't move, like she's locked in a rictus of like just a death glare. Like she is so angry.
While we're waiting, I'm gonna empty her pockets, go through everything she has, make sure she doesn't have any weapons, lockpicks, anything like that. Just short of disrobing her completely, just making sure she doesn't have anything on her. Not looking for loot or anything, but like I said, just weapons, lockpicks, stuff. Not looking for treasure or anything.
I think you do find like a small dirk. Basically, it's like strapped inside of her, like where her arm falls. It's like under there. It basically would like hole up underneath her arm and into her armpit. It's just a small dirk. But yeah, she has hidden that away.
Dirk.
So yeah, so while you're waiting, like once the Hold Person spell fades, like you've what are you doing? Like what's next?
Celinda's getting in her face.
And I think as soon as the Hold Person spell like breaks, she spits in your face.
That's hot.
You almost killed my mother and father.
I really don't care.
You almost killed Alistair.
Too bad. I've worked really hard on
almost killed Valem's family. Tell me why I shouldn't kill you right now.
You should.
I really should.
She just kind of shrugs.
I really want to.
What, you too weak to do it?
Oh no, I'm definitely not too weak to.
Prove it, bitch.
You see, my friends are a lot nicer than I am.
Oh, I don't need your sad fucking story. If you're gonna do it, get it over with. If not, just know that when I break free, and I will, I'm gonna turn Alistair inside out.
No, you're not, because you're not leaving here.
So you say.
Lady, I barely know you. I really don't care that much. I don't know what their vested interest is for the most part. I want to know one thing only. Why'd you say you were going to sink the ship?
Because why not?
Oh, even I know you're not that stupid.
Because of this, clearly. Moron. Anything I could do to get away from you fuckholes.
You didn't know we were there until I showed up.
Yeah, and then I saw you.
So why were you there?
Jesus, can we just not?
No, you don't get to dictate terms.
Like Valem,
You're the one who's...
She very clearly looks at you, Valem. She says, doesn't this, like, defy some of your fucking orders, priest? Torturing somebody in captivity? Just kill me and get it over with. Stop being such a dick and coward.
We're not torturing you at all. We're simply talking.
Have you ever talked to yourself? I promise this is torture.
Cute.
Cute.
I hate her so much.
And I feel exactly the same way. Can we resolve this by you just killing me and being done with it?
Why are you so eager to go dead?
I'm just eager to get away from you.
What did I ever do to you?
You're friends with them, apparently. Reason enough.
You know, by that logic, you were friends with the... Oh, what was his name again? The stupid warlock who my patron had me kill.
And, like, she bares teeth. She says, fuck you. Just finish this, you fucking cowards.
Do you know what he did to him? He turned his brain into jello.
I doubt that very much.
Yeah, technically, you're right. Pointing at Kella. I didn't do jack. So, I just said, I work for somebody. You can respect that, I hope.
I have no respect for you at all.
Why? I didn't do jack to you. You're so mean.
She has no respect for anyone.
Okay, let's do it the easy way then. Hopefully.
And she looks at you,
I'm
Elizabeth.
going to try to do something stupid.
Okay. While you're trying to do something stupid, she looks at you, Elizabeth. She says, hey, you. Yeah, you, quiet one. You know this is wrong, what your friends are doing. Innocent like you, farm girl. You just gonna stand there?
Trying to goad me, it's not going to work. I think my friends are justified in their actions. You threaten their family, you and your organization. You're not going to get any mercy from me.
They threatened your family as well.
The Zentarum did, but she didn't. I'll go that far. But
she's still a snake.
So here's the question. Like, you're not physically fighting her?
Oh no, she's got advantage on this, no question.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, there's definitely like a battle going on here.
I
no
do
question.
have one question. I do have one question.
Okay.
Where is her snake?
That you're aware of, you don't see one at all.
She doesn't seem to have one.
She doesn't seem to have one.
Can I have Oberon see if he can fly around and track it?
I mean, you haven't seen one up to this point. You have no reason to believe that there is one. Aside from the
Just
fact...
in case. Because the last time we had these fuckers, one of them got away.
I mean, yeah, if you want to, I guess.
I mean, just in case. Just in case.
So she's going to make a wisdom save with advantage. What's your DC?
My DC is 17? 17.
She rolled 17.
A 7?
17. She rolled exactly 17.
You cut off. I'm like, she rolled a 7. Okay, so... Oh well, was worth a try.
She said, can we just stop jerking each other off and be done here?
Can I kill her?
Yeah, go ahead. She's obviously not giving us information.
Step back.
I've got no way. 2 steps backwards.
Everybody step back.
Beth will do so.
I'm going to cone of cold her.
Okay.
I
Well,
guess.
I was gonna say
Let
if you do that, you're
go.
catching Valem in it. So
Is Valem?
I'm the one holding her.
Tied up?
Yeah,
Isn't she
she's-
tied up though?
No, we
With
don't.
what?
No, we don't
to
have
tie her
anything to
up.
tie her up. I was holding her in a bear hug.
Fuck.
If you'd like, I can do it.
I mean, I could. My spells, they're all freaking AoEs. No, I want to kill her.
Didn't she
I'm
have a
gonna
dirk?
scorch. Oh, she does. I actually have weapons. Hang on.
No, you don't. They're all left behind.
Oh, you're right. She has a dirk. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna cut her throat with the dirk.
okay. Sorry, I'm hunting for something that I can't find now. Fuck. Well, Google, here we come. Yeah, you could excuse me, you could just cut her throat. I guess I have no reason to. The real question I have here is, Valem, are you just gonna let it happen?
If Selena's coming at her with the dirk, and I know that she's gonna end it, I'm not gonna stand there. I would let her go, or at least throw her to the ground.
Okay.
I wouldn't hold her and just let her like murder her like that.
But you're still gonna let her get murdered. You're just not gonna be holding her.
I'm not against it. Everything that she did against our families and stuff like that, there's no reason for me to try to defend her.
Okay. Yeah. So
I mean, our reasoning was to question her. She's obviously not going to answer our questions, so she's.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you throw her down, Selena. You come at her and you slash her throat, and she just like for a moment you slash her throat. The blood starts to pool. She just looks up at you, gives you this smile, and she like reaches down with her hand to her neck and like rubs her hand in the blood and like rubs it all over her face. Just grins at you like there's like blood on her teeth.
Oh,
She
so
says
she was a crazy person.
So she says to you, Selenda, and it's like gurgly because she's dying and it's weak. She just kind of says, I hope my face haunts you. We're not done here, you and I.
You threatened Alistair. It was a bad idea.
Yeah, and she just keeps grinning, and the blood just pools like down her front and onto the grass. She just keeps smiling at you, and what I think happens is like instead of falling forward, her body just like falls back and goes limp, and her torso falls back over her heels, and you just watch her die on the ground.
Like a dog.
And then the blood is like pooling around her dead body. And then something kind of weird happens.
Oh crap!
The blood seems to seep into the ground, and it just disappears. Like all of it. Her blood continues to drain, and it looks like the blood is just like disappearing into the ground. It's not staining the grass. It's not wet. It just gets pulled away into nothing. And her whole body just loses all of its blood. Her skin goes pale. Process only takes about a minute.
Well, that's not ominous.
And you're left standing over the dead body, and I think enough time has passed it. I guess you wouldn't hear the airship. But yeah, the airship approaches. Yeah, and you're left standing over her corpse. Bloodless corpse. What do you do? What's next?
She's a vampire.
Jesus, can I make an Arcana check for that?
Yeah, sure. Make an Arcana check. Yeah.
Me as well?
Nope.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, Alton. It's real weird.
Yeah, that's some weird stuff just now.
Slender, that's some weird shit.
24?
That's I don't know how you would know what that is, what's happening.
Because I've studied a lot of magic.
Yeah, this isn't really magic in a way that I think you've studied before. This is some really powerful, arcane, weird shit. Something is taking her blood away. It's so powerful you don't feel it. But, like, that's some, maybe,
Burn
like...
her corpse, just in case.
What's that?
I'm going to burn her corpse, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, so you burn her. And actually, that's in fact what draws the airship to you, because you light her body on fire. And Kendrick is able to use the fire to see, and I think whoever has the sending stone or whatever, that you get a message from Kendrick says, is that fire you? Should we land?
Yeah, just hover, drop the ropes, we'll climb up.
Yeah, and the airship sort of pulls up to a stop and lowers itself down. The ropes come down. You're standing there with a burning corpse of Kella Darkhope.
Reginald starts climbing the thing and then goes and gets drunk.
That didn't go as planned.
I mean, you
even
know
remotely.
where you know where Hecaton is. You killed Kella Darkhope, which is what you wanted.
Celinda doesn't say anything to anybody the rest of the night. She just casts fly on herself, flies up onto the ship, collects Oberon, and goes below.
Okay.
Still bloodied. All blood from Kella. Doesn't bother. Like, that's probably the first time they've ever seen her get dirty and not immediately press the digitation it off herself.
Sure.
I try and open that chest.
Right.
Beth just kind of finds a place on deck, kind of puts her back against the wall, and kind of sits.
So you're trying to open the chest, Alton.
I am.
Cool. I'm gonna need something from you.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. I had the page open because I'm a smart boy. I need you to make me a con saving throw.
Fun.
Nice. So
Yeah.
as you're fiddling with the lock, you hear something click inside of it, and as you like look down, you can see these like little holes that have like sort of popped open, and you just sort of move yourself aside as these tiny little needles, like half a dozen of them, just shoot out from the chest and like land in the wood of the airship. They appear to have been tipped with some sort of like green viscous something, very probably poison.
He did not strike me as the type. Oh well.
So yeah, you avoid a little bit of calamity there, and inside the chest, we'll just say you figure out how to open it because I don't really care.
I'll blast it open if I have to. I mean, really.
Yeah, it contains 450 gold and a pouch that contains 9 gemstones that appear to be worth each about 50 gold.
I'll add it to party loot.
Fantastic.
450 gold
Yeah, 450 gold plus technically 450 worth of
and 450 worth in gems. Okay.
gemstones. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys back on the airship. Maybe a little worse for wear, not physically, but emotionally, perhaps. So where to next? What's the plan?
I know we just kind of resupplied, but as a sailor, I think I'd know where that sea is.
Well, I mean, the Trackless Sea is huge.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what it comes down to. It's a long trip. We need supplies.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Should we let the giants know? We know where Hecaton
Well, we
is?
can. But which giants do you trust? I mean, I guess we trust Sarissa, right?
Sarissa would probably be very interested in knowing where her father is.
And that's just
Yeah.
a simple sending spell. If we're going to be
Well,
afloat for a while.
Actually, they being. I mean, even if we wanted to go there, we still have the conch.
it's just
They
the
might
lead
have
that we
help
have now,
for
though.
if we're going somewhere in another all water place. Their castle is underwater. They might have some things for.
I
Although we
hope
did
don't
kind
have
of
to
loot
go
their
underwater.
stuff last time, so
Yeah, we took the stuff.
I just think this is just a lead. I think we should look into it first. If we find King Hecaton, great. Then when we return, we'll have something.
He
I
said
think
he
just-
was aboard the Morkoth.
Right, but that's what
I
he
get the point.
said. I mean,
Saying we have a lead is not nearly as good as saying we found your dad. I get the point.
Exactly. I don't want to waste any more time. I think we should just
So-
go after him.
Okay.
Water deep to resupply, and then to
how
supply
far
for
is
a
the
long
trackless
trip.
sea?
Trackless sea is huge.
And about how far is it from?
Yeah, where is it?
It's not even on the map, so.
Yeah,
It's. I'd imagine at least I have a vague idea as a sailor. It's probably further south than I'd even normally travel. Thinking about it.
Is Sean
Should we-
muted?
Should we just return to Baldur's Gate then instead of going to Waterdeep? If it's that far south.
I was just in general trying to avoid places we've been, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, we have a lot of ground to cover, or ocean to cover.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an answer to your question, but I, for whatever reason, didn't realize that it's not on the map, which is so fucking stupid. Why in God's name would you do that?
Includes the
Like,
module,
I
but
know
not-
where it is, but that's as a player.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it tells me where the ship is, but it's literally on a place that's not on our map. Yeah, so it is. You're right. It is far to the south. The Trackless Sea is far to the south of the Sea of Swords. So it's quite a ways south.
I mean, that's south of even where I'm from.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, do you want to stop home?
Excuse me.
And we can restock there? He's sneezing. Hang on.
When you say home, where do you mean home?
Alton.
Who's home?
I was talking to Alton.
Oh
but
no,
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 he's
no, no, no,
sneezing.
no, no, no. We have no reason to stop at is a bad place to resupply.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not against stopping in Baldur's Gate.
I'm not either.
As long as we make it quick. Again, this is probably a timed thing. We don't know how their methods of communication. One person with if that captain has a sending stone. So to Baldur's Gate, buy what, a month's worth of provisions?
Is it really going to take that long?
Hopefully not. But would you rather run out of supplies and have to go back, or not, or have extra supplies for an extra couple of days? In worst case scenario is we throw a party at the end.
should we just stop in Golden Fields? They had good food.
We can get directly to Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, any of those places, as long as we can get back to Yartar.
I don't think we should go back to Yarder.
I know we should go back to Yarder. At least
What's
not
the
anytime in the near month or
Where-
3.
Where's the next closest place we are to then?
Why?
Tribor is right there to your west. Mirabar's far to the north. Waterdeep's far to the south. Neverwinter's west. Got a lot of options. I mean, you're kind of equidistant to most places. Golden Fields is down there.
Are we gonna fly there so we have the airship? Yes.
I mean, we
Yeah, we
only
have no other
teleport
way
so
to-
far, and then the airship is our fastest mode of travel. I'd rather take the extra time to airship just straight there.
Yeah, we're
Not
gonna
only
need it
that-
regardless. I think all of us being on it will keep it safer than us teleporting and waiting a week for it to catch up.
Agreed. Not to mention if anything comes up in that week, because let's face it, while we're traveling, I'll use ascending to see if any captain I know has heard of that ship, where it's made port, who runs it, who owns it, who's the captain.
All right, so where are you guys flying to?
I guess Baldur's Gate.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
To Baldur's Gate.
All right. So
Trackless Sea is where Chult is, right?
where what is?
Yes. Chult.
Where Chult is.
It's close to it. Yeah, it's not too far south from there.
Not exactly. It's
So
It's the sea that Chult is in.
yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
So someone show me the. Are you heading directly south? Like, show me with a ruler what your.
I mean, it's hard to say with where Baldur's Gate is, but
I know, but like point off the map.
And I think we're still going to try and avoid flying over major cities.
Yeah.
how about we could fly right over Grudhog? That'd be the only major city. I guess Beliard.
That was
close by.
the
Yeah,
hills,
that was the hill giant
giant. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you guys begin your long journey south. I mean, even on a ship, it's going to take I think a number of days.
It'll take us 3 days just to reach the edge of the map. And then probably, I mean, Baldur's Gate was a ways by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll probably take about 4, maybe 5 days total to get from here down to Baldur's Gate.
I think we can spare 4 days.
Okay.
It's not a matter of spare. It's a matter of we couldn't search the ocean without the airship anyway. We're waiting regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna need supplies.
So you guys are heading directly south for the days it takes you to hit Baldur's Gate. I think that's probably a good place for us to stop. We'll pick up next week with you guys in Baldur's Gate, supplying for your long trek south.
Yay!
Not much of a cliffhanger, I realize, but I think it's a good place to stop for us.
Well, we did catch Kelly, so we have the moment of downtime now.
I mean,
session,
yeah, it was a pretty productive session, all in all, I think. Yeah, so next week we'll find you guys in Baldur's Gate for a little while, resupplying, and then looking for a ship.
For the record, Mr. Ramsbottom, that was the most beautiful thing I've heard in a very long time.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what to do when we were on break, and I was like, I wonder if I just brought up Andros, what she did.
Yeah. Like, I like the direct idea. Let me just go up and make a request and see what she does. But then afterwards, the cut.
That was gorgeous.
I will admit that I was not anticipating. As soon as you said that, the GM, was like, oh, fuck. So that was very well played. That was incredibly well played.
Killing Kella Darkhope literally made my hand shake.
Yeah, I thought I would, because I figured we needed to deal with that, and my concept was I wanted to throw it in a way that like it would definitely affect Celinda, because I was curious what she would do, and so I think that panned out very well.